Hello, everyone, and we welcome you into West Creek High School as the Coyotes of West Creek High School are taking on the Eagles of Northeast High School. Hello, everybody. Pat and Cook alongside my partner, Denzel. Now, Denzel, we have got a terrific matchup tonight with the Coyotes and Eagles. Your initial thoughts coming into the matchup?
Yeah, my initial thoughts, it should be a good matchup. I mean, it's an inner city matchup. You know, it's in the district. Both schools are looking to try to make the playoffs, make a run this year. Northeast has got off to a really good start. Started off 5-0. West Creek struggled a little bit. They started off 1-4, but if they can get it going early on, they can have a chance to finish the game out.
Yeah, we have hit the halfway point of the high school season, so every loss, every win is huge, and especially for West Creek, this rough start, it's really put the pressure on going in late. So we're going to move on for our players to watch, and first we're going to go with West Creek, and it's going to be number 28, Yasir Thomas.
Yeah, Yasir Thomas is somebody that West Creek really goes to. He's a beast on the field. He's rushing for 662 yards. He's really putting up these numbers, giving them good, strong runs this year, hitting the holes like he's supposed to.
Now, if the folks at home can remember, we did a game of Yasir Thomas. We had West Creek versus Northwest, and that game just did not go right from the start for any aspect of offense for West Creek. Yasir Thomas ended the game with less than 50 yards, and it was really all on that offensive line to really get the holes going for him, but nothing was going. Moving on for Northeast, and we're going to go with another running back, oddly enough, number 20, Tyreek Freeman.
And then with Tyreek Freeman, same thing. He's a workhorse. He has 630 rushing yards on the year. He's one of two players on Northeast who are both rushing for over 100 yards, and he's somebody that they go to all the time too.
Yeah, with Yasir Thomas, he's had a couple bad games, but for Tyreek, he's not had one bad game. He's had 5 100-yard rushing each for this season, so just a great start for that young man, and he's going to be important going on into the playoffs, as I mentioned, halfway point of the high school season. Moving on, we're going to give a point for each team. Now, we're going to start first for Northeast. That's just to keep this momentum that they've built and played so well all season.
All right, well, for Northeast starting off, their run game, Tyreek Freeman, they're going to want to keep him going. They want to keep him active in the game. Also, on defense, they're going to want to have to clog up these holes for West Creek to run through. That's going to be the main thing to stopping them early on.
Yeah, Northeast coming in tonight, some news has broken kind of on a situation that is less than ideal. They've had a player who has been ineligible, but they have played in all 5 games, so we'll kind of touch on that later on in the broadcast, but they're faced some adversity tonight. We'll see how they go on. Now, moving on to West Creek, it's just to kind of get some momentum going. They're 1-4 on the season. Get a win tonight in front of your home fans and move on to the rest of the season.
Yeah, a win for them tonight would be big, especially against this Northeast squad that's 5-0. A very big key for West Creek is to get it going started early on in the game. They're going to want to get these holes open. They're going to want to be able to get their run game going, especially with this type of offense that they're running.
Now, previously in the season, Chris Parson has been the man to lead the charge at the quarterback position for West Creek. Now, tonight we've already seen Chris Parson not taking any of the QB snaps and warm-ups. It's going to be all of number 11, Keyshawn Richardson. Keyshawn played in the last time out against Northwest, and he impressed. He showed more than what Chris Parson could do. So we'll see kind of how that offense changes. We're not sure if we're going to see that triple option that we saw last 3 weeks ago against Northwest, but it's going to be an interesting battle, and we're getting ready to go underway. Players have run onto the field, ran in front of their home fans, and Northeast and West Creek are getting ready to go to battle. And as you mentioned, an inter-city matchup, big rivalry. Every player lives for these moments under the Friday night lights. It looks like West Creek is going to be receiving the kick to start this game, so they're going to start on offense first, and that's kind of how you want. You want to get your offense to get a little confidence early on. Now, if they go 3 and out, it's going to be tough. You just need to keep that hope and believe in yourself that you can get this offense going.
Yep, you're absolutely right with that. With their offense, they're going to want to get that going early on, because we've seen that if they can get the offense going, they're hard to stop. I mean, they're a big team. They're a physical team. It's just getting it started, getting it going. That's all they need to start this game off right.
Zach Thomas is here to kick off for Northeast High School, and back to receive is Chris Parson and also Walter Beatty for West Creek. So 2 very dangerous men returning kicks for West Creek. And that's something you could get your offense going, start at maybe the 40-yard line, some good field position. I remember field position was a huge struggle for West Creek. They seemed like they're starting at their 15, 20, and behind. So a huge game tonight. The halfway point of this high school football season is among us. And a huge matchup here in Clarksville, Tennessee. Zach Thomas puts his foot through this one, and Walter Beatty's going to collect it, but he fumbles the ball. He is wrapped up very quickly. Oh, he's still on his feet. Still on his feet, and I believe that's going to be called a safety.
I believe so too. That is going to be a rough start for them, Pat. They really could have used a good start to this game.
They're going to say he was down at the 1-yard line, but that is disastrous there from Walter Beatty. He should have just gave up. He had it at the 15-yard line, tried to make more of it, and nearly forces a safety and a near disastrous start here at home for West Creek.
Yeah, I think with it there, I think he just was looking to run before he can get his hands on the ball firmly. They got to remember that, yeah, it's a big game, but you might want to calm down just a little bit, make sure you catch the ball, make sure you get it going.
Zach Thomas, the one who kind of squib kicked it to the right, and Walter Beatty had all the problems in the world. They hand it off to Yasir Thomas in a positive game up the middle on first down. So that's a really good game.
It is a good look for him right now. Get him going early. That's what he's looking to have gained probably around 5 to 6 yards on that run.
2nd and 3.
It is Keeson Robertson taking charge of this offense for West Creek. He keeps the ball and tosses it out to a man. He's still on his feet. Rushing near that first down marker. I think he got it.
Yeah, I believe he might have got it too, Pat. And we see that early on, even with the quarterback change, they're still going to that triple option, showing that they can still run it no matter which quarterback they have in.
Keeping faith in the quarterback play early on for this West Creek. And an early first down. We mentioned not to get a early 3 and out, but a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line.
Yeah, Pat, and this really might not have been the ideal start they wanted with them starting so close to the end zone. They're making the push to get out of there.
11 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Handed off to Yasir Thomas. He finds some room, and the ball is out. The ball is out, and Northeast has got it. Northeast player gets tackled at the 6-yard line. Yasir Thomas got the ball just poked right out of his hand.
Yep, and that was number 24, I believe, Lawan Lewis with the fumble recovery to take it down to the 1-yard line.
Looked like Yasir Thomas just had the ball knocked right out of him by the defensive player's helmet, and that's not much you can do if you're Yasir Thomas, but a disastrous start on the offensive end just as things started to look good for them.
Yep, they started off with a really good game, but that was a good defensive play, Pat. I mean, he got everything he needed to be in the right spot. He got in the right spot.
Flag on the play. It looks like it's going to be false start on the Eagles. That's going to back them up 5 yards. Now leading the charge at the quarterback position is going to be Heath Williams, a huge young man, 716 yards coming into the day. Denzel's rather.
Yes, he does. He's a big force for them too. Along with that 716 yards, he has 8 passing touchdowns and 2 rushing touchdowns. So he can get it done. It looks like he's going to get a 3rd one right here.
Heath Williams just walks it into the end zone untouched.
And that's big for him here, Pat. That's big. They get that momentum going early. It might be hard to slow him down.
I'm not sure if the West Creek defense was set on that play. Heath Williams could have crawled to the end zone on that one, and already an early score with 10:27 remaining in this game. It looks like they're going to go to 2, something they've done a lot this season.
Yeah, Pat, it looks like they're looking to make a statement here early on in the game, keeping the offense in to go for the extra 2 points instead of kicking the field goal.
Tyreek Freeman in the backfield. Heath Williams takes a snap, fires it in, incomplete.
All right, that time he just put it a little bit too far out in front of him, Pat.
So with that incomplete pass, your score 6-0 with 10:27 remaining in this first quarter. The Eagles strike first. Stay with us right here on APSU-TV.
Listen up, Ohio Valley Conference fans. ESPN's mission is to serve sports fans anytime, anywhere. And now with ESPN Plus, fans can get access to thousands of live events and original programming for only $4.99 a month. That means you can finally watch more sports from the Ohio Valley Conference anytime, anywhere on all your favorite devices. To access ESPN Plus, download the ESPN app or visit ESPN.com and just tap on the Start My 7-Day free trial to get started. ESPN Plus, more sports, more conferences, more schools, more universities, more teams. Download the ESPN app or visit ESPN.com today.
We welcome you back here to West Creek High School. Northeast taking the early lead, 6-0 is your score. And what looked like a positive drive, Denzel, turned into pure disaster with the fumble by Yasir Thomas.
Yeah, they got off to a rough start with that kickoff return, but it looked like as soon as it looked like they was going to turn it around, you know, another little slip up happened. But as long as they don't let it hang over their heads, shrug it off, and still try to push to get this offense going, they'll be fine.
Zach Thomas onto the field again, and he kicks it right to Walter Beatty. Walter collects it this time, looking for some room. He gets tackled by a host of Eagles.
See, that's a better start than where they was the first time. That's easily 25 more yards from what they had on that first kickoff return. Is way better placement for their offense coming out here on the field now this time.
Ball spotted at the 25-yard line, so that's where the Coyotes will start 1st and 10. And this is where you kind of see how mentally strong your team is after an early fumble and an early touchdown. We'll see how strong this team is and see if they can overcome some adversity here at home.
Yeah, this game is going to be big. As much as it is physical, it's also going to be mental. They're going to have to not let the other team get in their heads. They're not going to have to let any mistakes cloud their judgment on. They're going to have to get it done tonight.
Tayshawn Richardson in the backfield, completing over 50% of his passes this season. Hands it off to Yasir Thomas, and he's got nothing.
And this is where we was talking about with the defense, Pat. If they can put on that pressure early on in the game and stop the run, they can force them to try to get in the game and play a certain way that might be uncomfortable for them.
I have a feeling that West Creek is going to have to start throwing the ball here. Northeast is really selling out for that run. They're stacking the box inside. It's going to be tough to run against this front. Northeast only giving up 8 points per game this season. Second and 13 at the 20-yard line. Pass it over to Chris Parson, looking for some room, and he's got none of it.
Yeah, it was a short pass out into the flat pad. The Northeast defense read it good. They was able to get there and make a stop on time and in the backfield. And you're right, they're stacking up that front box. They're sending more than 4 easily. They're trying to put that pressure on them early on and make them pass the ball.
Another loss on the play. It's going to be 3rd and 20 at the 16-yard line. So this keeps getting worse and worse for this West Creek team, and this is a definite passing down at this point.
And I think that's what Northeast defense game plan is going to be the whole day, Pat. I think they're going to put pressure on them and force them to pass the ball and make them beat them that way if they can.
And he is dropped. A huge tackle from the defensive line of Northeast. That was number 57, Rakeem Savusa, the senior. Just straight off the snap, he came firing through the line.
And that's a big guy for high school. He's 6 foot. You said Rakeem Savusa is 6 foot 265 coming off the line with that force. He can really move out here.
Back to receive is Fred Orr. Had a 91-yard kick return for a touchdown this season. A real danger, and he's only standing at his 42-yard line. West Creek gets the punt away. Fred Orr's going to try to get it, but it's going to roll out of bounds, and that's where 1st and 10 is going to start at the 28-yard line at West Creek. So this is great field position here for Northeast.
It is good field position. He might not have been able to catch the return like he wanted to, but it was a short punt. It came forward, went out of bounds. It actually gave them a little bit better ball placement than it would have been had he caught the fair catch.
A dangerous backfield in here for Northeast. They've got Fred Orr and also Tyreek Freeman, 2 100-yard rushers per game. East William goes back to pass. A wide open man, and he's got the catch. That's going to be enough for a first down, so keep moving the chains. Our Northeast right now.
Yep, and that was a pass to number 19, Sean Robinson. He ran a good route. His feet came up from under him a little bit. He was still able to catch the ball. He might not have been able to get more yards off that, but it's still a first down. They're moving the chains.
Fred Orr moves out to the slot for Northeast. A pitch play here. That's number 19, Sean Robinson, and it gets flipped in the air.
Yep, and I believe that's now 2 plays they've gone to Sean Robinson back to back. So they're showing not only will they throw it to him, but they're also willing to let him come across that screen and run it.
Well done from West Creek, flying to the ball there, limiting the gain, only a gain of 1, so it's going to be 2nd and 9. 7:21 remaining in this first quarter.
Yep, and this defense is going to play a huge part in this game tonight, Pat. If this defense can, contain and hold Northeastern's offense a little bit, they have a way better chance of coming out with the win in this game.
Heath Williams takes a snap directly, and he's looking for some room, and he's got it. A great stiff arm across the 10-yard line. It's going to be close to that first down marker. And this is just a great athlete Heath Williams is. Not only can he throw the ball so well, might as well be a fullback the size of him.
You're right. And on that play, Heath just made a great read. He saw the pressure coming. He snatched the ball back before they can get there. He took off to the outside and gained them yards.
Devin Dilhay checks in. Looks like at the fullback position. They hand it off to Fred Orr, looking for some room. Dives forward inside the 5-yard line.
That was a nice, good, strong run by Fred Orr. I believe that's going to give them 1st and goal.
It'll be 1st and goal at the 4-yard line. A juggernaut of an offense early here. 6-0 your score. They hand it off to Tyreek Freeman. He walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Northeast.
Yeah, but that's early on, and he's somebody that they're going to have to watch on the offensive side of the ball. Because not only can he run and move with the ball, but Fred Orr is another big guy out there who can run and move. He's powerful, and as we see, he can get in there, and he just barely got touched.
Tyreek Freeman with a huge touchdown there, just walked into the end zone, and Northeast going for 2 again. They hand it off to Tyreek, still on his feet, looking to go into the end zone for 2, and he's got it. The 2-point conversion is good. So with 6:13 remaining in this first quarter, your score is 14-0. A dominant performance here on APSU-TV.
We are more than just athletes. We inspire scholars. We inspire leaders. We inspire champions. We inspire family. This is the Ohio Valley Conference.
All of our high school football games are streamed live on the Clarksville-Montgomery County School System's website at cmcss.net and are produced by the APSU Department of Communication. Watch a replay of our high school football games on APSU-TV Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. APSU-TV is available on Spectrum Channel 192, AT&T U-verse Channel 99, and CDE Lightband Channel 9. A great performance early on, Denzel, by Northeast. West Creek looks shell-shocked and kind of looks the same way we saw not 2 or 3 weeks ago against Northwest.
Yeah, Northeast is showing that if you have a big dominant defense, that you can get it going against West Creek. But again, like I said, West Creek just needs to keep pushing forward and not let the mistakes get stuck in their head, because that's going to be pretty big for them.
Northeast attempted an onside kick. It went right into Yasir Thomas's lap, so they're going to start 1st and 10. Looks like the 44-yard line, so great field position. But we already have a false start on Northeast, so that's going to push them up even further up the field. So really good field position for Northeast. A chance to maybe stop this momentum for Northeast. It's been a disastrous start for the Coyotes.
Yep, and with this field position, if they can get it going and get onto the opponent's side of the field, they can have a chance to make something big happen and possibly get a score and cut that lead down. Hand
it off to Yasir Thomas. Nothing once again. It's the big men up front, and I believe it was Rakeem Savusa once again up the middle.
Yep, like I said before, that's a big defensive lineman. He can really get it moving down there. I believe I think he's in at the nose tackle position. So that inside there might be a problem for that offensive line.
That's a pretty helpless feeling for Yasir Thomas back there, knowing as soon as you're touching the ball, you've got 2 or 3 Eagles right in your lap. And it's 2nd and 12 at the 42-yard line. Richardson takes a snap, but the whistle's blown, and it's a false start.
Yeah, I think that offensive line might be getting a little jittery up there, knowing they're going to have to stop, keep that pressure from coming in. As you can see, Northeast is keeping that box filled up. They're only keeping 1 safety back. They're keeping pressure on them. They're pressing a little bit out there. They're making sure that they know that the defense is there and present.
That's one of the real problems with the triple option. If you do not have a passing game, the defense is just going to stack the box and not give any holes up the middle, and that's showing right now. Richardson looks to fake it, but he is dropped in the backfield. A huge loss there from Jimmy Wendell. Once again, he's just walking into the backfield. This offensive line for West Creek is having a mare tonight.
Yep, and it's now it's got dropped back to the 30-yard line. And I believe on that play, the defense sent at least, I believe it was about 8 players that they sent all into the backfield at the same time. So they're sending the blitz, and they're not really worrying about if West Creek can actually get that pass off over.
3rd and a mile at 3rd and 24 at their own 30 at what started at the 44-yard line. Instead of going forwards, they're going backwards here on this possession. A great defensive play once again. It's Jimmy Wendell in the backfield. They tried to do a quick screen, and nothing going on this defense for West Creek.
Yep, Northeast defense is really out here showing why this team is 5-0. It's showing that it might be the real deal out here. They're actually playing. They're playing the game. They're playing it how they want to play, and they're keeping pressure on that offense.
Back to receive once again is Fred Orr for the Eagles. Punt goes into the sky, and Orr is just going to let it bounce. He takes it off to the 40, looking for some room. He's got it. Plenty of blocking room and a huge hit in the middle of the field. A crackback block and a great return by Fred Orr.
Yeah, that was just a great play by Fred Orr. He was going to let the ball go at first, but he saw the bounce it took. He saw that the punt team, when they came down to get it, they weren't really pressing force on it, so he saw that little bit of space to grab it and take off, and he did. And it paid off for him. He gained about 10 to 15 yards on that punt return alone.
So the Northeast offense comes back out on the field. 4 minutes remaining in this first quarter. And 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line for Northeast.
And honestly, Pat, with the success that they're having running the ball, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they start airing it out.
There it is, and it's intercepted. It's intercepted by West Creek, Walter Beatty.
And I believe
the coaches are telling him to go.
It's still in play. It's still in play.
Walter Beatty's still on his feet, and he's finally tackled by Fred Orr. A great defensive play by Walter Beatty.
And I think that was a lapse on the offense there, Pat. He flew to go just a little bit too far. It hit the receiver, popped out, but when they realized that he had the ball, I don't think they realized that he wasn't down yet.
Yeah, it looked like the referees had blown their whistle, so that's why Walter Beatty and every other player on the field had started walking. But a great defensive play, and the momentum right back into West Creek's favor, and it was a great throw from Heath Williams. It was just a wide receiver. Couldn't bring it in. That was Tamir Jones.
Yep, and that's exactly what West Creek needed right now, a big play to get this team back up and motivated for this game. That might be the play that helps them get back into the game, honestly.
They are going to rule that a touchback, so 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. And what looked like doom and gloom is looking a little better right now. 14-0 your score, 3:05 remaining in this first quarter, and it's 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line for the Coyotes.
But it's going to be interesting to see what they do from here on out, Pat, because we know that they like to run it with this triple option. But it's going to be, we're going to have to see if they're going to be willing to air it out, throw it over top. Maybe they can get the game going, working with the passing, and once they get that started, they can go, they can get back to that run.
They definitely need some in-game adjustments by the head coach, James Figueroa. And it's something they just didn't do against Northwest. They kind of stuck with it even though they changed quarterbacks. Just the offense never could get going, but right now, some life here for West Creek. And the ball is out. The ball is out and collected by Jimmy Wendell. Wendell still on his feet, going into the end zone. Still on his feet. Touchdown.
And already over this game on defense, Jimmy Wendell is showing that he's going to have his hands on every play.
Holy moly, he was stood up by the Coyotes, and then his fellow friends at the defensive line just rocked him into the end zone. And that's another 6 points for the Eagles. $20-0, 2:35 remaining, and it looks like they're going to go for two once again. They haven't kicked that many extra points. Referees talking on the sideline over at West Creek. Looks at one of the coaches.
I think the ref was coming over to explain what exactly was happening on the field.
Yeah, it looks like Yasir Thomas is trying to tell them that I was on the ground, but no instant replay in high school football, so it's really going to be tough to overturn a call like that with so many bodies in the middle. So the offense remains on the field here for Northeast. They're going to go for it once again. 1 of 2 on the evening at the 2-point conversion try.
And I believe the reason they keep going for it, with this offensive game that they got, they're going to try to go out there and get every point that they can squeeze out.
And another waltz in for Northeast. That's Fred Orr. 22-0 is your score, 2:50 remaining. This is domination putting on display for Northeast. Stay with us here on APSU-TV.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
TN High School Football is the source for all things high school football in Tennessee. From Donovan Stewart's Victory Formation column to podcast interviews with area coaches, TNHighSchoolFootball.com has you covered. Nominate and vote for weekly players of the week at TNHighSchoolFootball.com. Something that Zach Thomas has done a lot tonight is getting ready to kick off to West Creek. 22-0 your score with 2:50 remaining. A powerful display thus far from Northeast.
Really what we're getting from Northeast right now, they're really being able to keep both the offense and defense fresh, both getting off the field in a timely fashion.
Another onside kick attempted from Zach Thomas, and it's collected immediately by one of the West Creek players. It looked like that was Miles Badgett, one of the special teamers. So 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line this time. Field position keeps getting better, Denzel, but it's just the execution is not where it needs to be.
Yeah, and that's their biggest problem right now. I believe what it could be is they might, like I said, the mental part of this is what, might be halting them a little bit. Once they can get past that, they'll be perfectly fine, and they can just get the game going.
Timeout called by West Creek. That is their first of this half. So I guess during this stoppage we can kind of introduce the elephant in the room, Denzel, which has been the breaking news over at Northeast. As I want to give credit to James Troglin at TN Sports 360 to kind of explain the viewers, because even I don't have the perfect grasp on this. According to a tweet from James Troglin, sources told TNSports360.com that TSSAA was informed earlier in the week that Northeast had a player who had transferred from West Creek to Northeast on the team and was playing. The player's eligibility was called into the question. Now with Northeast at 5-0, that player has played in all 5 games. So it's really going to come down to an official ruling from TSSAA. But what a disastrous start to this season it could be for Northeast.
Yeah, if TSSAA rules and they want to say that they're not going to go with it, take it away, all 5 of those games could be coming off their record pack. And what seemed like a great start to a season, could be turned around just that fast.
That was a great run from Walter Beatty. Quarterback Keyshawn Richardson did a good job hesitating on the handoff to Yasir Thomas, and Beatty gets enough for the first down for West Creek.
And Walter Beatty is one of West Creek's leading rushers. Actually, I believe he has 3 touchdowns on the season, and so he's another one who can get it going. And they just if they can keep feeding him, he can keep getting it going. They have the potential. They can score. They can make this a game.
Now in at quarterback is actually Chris Parson. They have moved Keyshawn Robertson out of the quarterback position, and they hand it off to Yasir Thomas, and he stays on his feet, charging for more yards, and he's got that first down, it looks like.
And this is exactly what West Creek needs. They need Yasir Thomas to come in there and be the powerhouse that he can. You see that time when he broke through the line, he didn't stop moving his feet. He kept pushing his feet. He kept pushing forward. His team came and helped, got the extra push, and now that's a 9-yard gain on the play.
Yasir Thomas's helmet came off, so he has to come out for a play, which your best player, you don't want that, but nonetheless, he has to come out for one play, and West Creek is going to go into a huddle for this very important 2nd and 1 at the 26-yard line.
Exactly. I think it was number 5, Justin Osborne, who might have come in for Yazir. He's another one of the rushers. He's not, he's pretty good and can get it going.
1:05 remaining in this first quarter, 22-0 your score. West Creek trying to get some momentum going their way. Chris Parson fakes the pitch, and he's still on his feet looking for more yards across to the 20-yard line, enough for a first down.
And it seems now that West Creek has got some life in them, Pat. They're going back to it. They're still trying their triple option out. They keep trying to push and get it going. And right now, it seems like they can get it going.
First down, West Creek. And then I say first down again, and you all yell in harmony, Coyote. First down, West Creek. First down. There you go.
First down. Ball spotted at the 20-yard line. 33 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Yasir Thomas has come back in after that one play that he was forced to come out for.
Yep, and that's a good sign, Pat. That just means his helmet, all it was, his helmet came loose and popped off. Nothing wrong with him. Back in the game.
Yasir Thomas averaging 7.5 yards per carry. It looks like more trouble with that play clock, it looks like.
Yeah, I believe they're trying to get it back up to, I believe, maybe 35. I'm not exactly sure.
51 seconds, rather. Where did that other 28 seconds go? So 51 seconds remaining, sorry. The play clock fooled us all up here in this first quarter. Chris Parson, his first time back at the quarterback position since Northwest when he got hurt. Sure, he's looking to prove some doubters wrong in that coaching staff. Parson takes it and he hands it off to Walter Beatty. Walter Beatty looking for some more room, and he's got the first down and a little bit more going across the 8-yard line.
And that's just a great play right there. He fakes it off to the first running back, hands it to Walter Beatty. He comes around for the big game, and this is what they need right now, Pat. They need this momentum to keep pushing them forward.
Really having trouble with that play clock. It's still at 51 seconds, even though that play clock, it clearly took more than 0 seconds to run that play. So both teams are going to go back to the huddle. 22-0 your score. 50 says 51 seconds, whether that'll be after they figure out the time loss. But a better start here from West Creek. They kind of got the ball rolling. Chris Parson back in at the quarterback position. What are your thoughts on this offense thus far?
They're sticking with their bread and butter, Pat. They like the triple option, so they want to keep running it. They tried switching quarterbacks. It wasn't working out for them, so they put Parsons back in. He's somebody that they know can run their offense, and there's somebody that they like running their offense. So we're going to see a lot more of him at the quarterback position running this offense.
The team stats for West Creek this season on defense has been less than ideal for them. When you're giving up 41 points per game, it's going to be tough to win ball games, and that's kind of why they're sitting at 1-4. But ever since that fumble recovery for a touchdown, the defensive end has been looking a little bit better for West Creek. Just needed some confidence. This game is all about momentum. They're starting to get a little bit of it on the offensive end right now. Northeast defense back out on the field. Ball spotted at the 9-yard line. It's going to be 1st and goal at the 9.
Yep, and it seems like they finally got the play clock fixed, Pat. It was at 51 seconds for 2 plays now, but I believe they moved it down to 45.
Let's hope and pray this scoreboard clock works. After this play, it is 37 seconds remaining. Going to be one of the final plays of this first quarter here. Chris Parson leading the charge once again for West Creek. Parson keeps it, hands it out to Walter Beatty, and the ball's loose, and Northeast has got it. Northeast has got it, and it's only Chris Parson to beat. Zamir Miller gets knocked out of bounds by Chris Parson.
And that was a play they really didn't need coming this late in the first quarter, Pat. They were so close. They were in the red zone. They just trying to punch it in, get their score on the board.
West Creek just playing with your heart right now, thinking they're going to start getting it, but a flag is thrown. Not sure if it was on the hit on Zamir Miller. About to find out, but what a hit from the quarterback it was.
Yeah, Parsons is showing that he could be more than just a quarterback. I mean, you see the speed. He didn't give up on the play. He chased it, followed it all the way through.
Referee sorting out this penalty. It looks like it's going to be on West Creek, just from the hand gestures they're showing. It's going to be unsportsmanlike on both teams, so it's going to be offset. And I would have to assume it was on that hit, just players going at it, but that's just the emotion of football, but can't have those penalties.
Yeah, and this time, both teams got lucky that they offset. But I think just what it was with everything that's been going wrong for West Creek, the emotion might have overflowed for that split second. And then Northeast, they allowed themselves to react. So they kept themselves in just as wrong.
Keith Williams looking to make up for that interception. That interception puts him at 3 interceptions on the season. Keith Williams firing deep to the man wide. He's got it. Touchdown. Touchdown, Northeast. What a catch.
And that's just the catch. That's a great pass, too, Pat. I mean, they're just, as you can see, Heath is just this spark plug on here. And that's number 19, Sean Robinson, on the catch. I mean,
that ball seemed to be in the air forever, and Heath Williams is slinging it tonight, let me tell you. That interception wasn't even his fault either. He's just doing a great job tonight, Heath Williams. And Heath has got a real chance to play at the second level. He was a part of Sports 360 Player of the Year last season, so the future is bright for that young man.
Yes, and especially at the quarterback position, he's this new hybrid quarterback that we're seeing more nowadays. Not only can he throw it, but he can run it. He's making these reads. And he's really what a lot of teams are starting to look for in the quarterback nowadays.
Not really sure, but Fred Orr somehow got the 2-point conversion. The ball rolled on the ground, and he ends up getting it. So 30-0 is your score with 8 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Things go bad to worse for West Creek here on APSU-TV. Actually, we are staying here with 8 seconds left. Sorry about that. 30-0 your score.
The game is still manageable, Pat. I mean, it's only the first quarter. There's still 3 more quarters for West Creek to turn it around. And I mean, we've seen crazier things happen in football.
That is true. Crazier things have happened. West Creek already pushing their average of giving up 41 points per game at 30 in the first quarter. And Zach Thomas on to kick. Walter Beatty for West Creek, and also Loring Beecham to receive for West Creek. So just looking for anything and everything momentum-wise. They drive all the way down to the 8-yard line, fumble it, and it turns into a touchdown for Northeast.
Yeah, Pat, I wouldn't be surprised if Northeast tried to go for another onside kick. They've tried it twice already. They're staying aggressive, keeping the West Creek on their toes. They're really trying to push the issue here.
They're doing these weird line drive kicks right at the front line, but West Creek sniffing it out. They put the ball all the way out to the 38-yard line of Northeast.
And again, that's a more good field position. And I think that might have happened on that kick. It looked like he could have possibly been trying to go for an onside kick again. Kicked it just a little bit too high, and it turned into a little squib.
2 seconds remaining in this first quarter, which seemed like an eternity here. It's just been a struggle for West Creek to get anything going, and then once they got it going, whether it's a fumble or a drop snap or anything and everything, just looking for something to get out of here at this first quarter at 30-0. Parsons still at the quarterback position. They fire it deep. He's got a man. He's got a touchdown.
And that's just a good pass. Parsons took the snap. He didn't scramble. He tried to stay inside the pocket. I mean, he saw the defense coming, and he still followed through with the throw and delivered it on the spot.
That's something we're going to have to see more from West Creek, is just to start firing it deep, because running the ball with these kind of trick formations has not been working. 30-6 is your score, and it looks like they're going to go for 2 as well.
Yep. And another thing with it, Parsons can throw the ball. They might not do it often, but he can throw it. He can put it out there.
Keyshawn Wagner in at the quarterback position on this 2-point conversion. Fires it deep, but there is a pass interference on Northeast. And it looked pretty obvious from up here. The corner looked to have any advantage trying to swipe across the middle, but just got too much of the jersey.
Yeah, he got there too fast, and he got the jersey and the pads before the ball got there.
An injured Eagle. That does look like, for the Eagles, Isaiah Foy, the senior, so don't like seeing that.
Hopefully it's nothing too serious, Pat. Hopefully, he might have just overstretched, his shoulder or overstretched the groin or something.
During this break in the play, we'd like to say all of our high school football games are streamed live on the Clarksville Montgomery School Systems website at cmcss.net and are produced by the APSU Department of Communication. Watch a replay of our high school football games on APSU-TV Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. APSU-TV is available on Spectrum Channel 192, AT&T U-verse Channel 99, and CDE Lightband Channel 9.
So there's a black and white for points, pass interference in the end zone. So we're going to replay this.
That player still on the ground for Northeast. You just hate to see it in any sport, but especially in football, just with the physicality in the game. Unfortunately, it's a part of it, but especially now trying to eliminate some of these injuries, and ultimately you can't eliminate them all.
Yeah, you're right, and that's why you see now, like, even the NFL starting to take initiative. Like, they got the new kickoff rule where they instead of having them run as the kicker's going to kick the ball, now they line up with the ball, and so they run after the ball's kicked, so they don't already have that momentum. They're trying to take these measurements to keep athletes from getting hurt, but it's just a physical game.
And it's probably for the best. I mean, you don't like seeing players getting carted off the field, stretchered off the field, and especially after that scary Ryan Shazier hit. It's really just changed football, I think, for the better. You need a safer game, and that's what we're getting here this year in all sorts of football, from Pop Warner all the way to the NFL.
You're exactly right. But at least this is starting to look like a good sign. He's able to walk off under his own 2 feet. Not Not too sure what it might have been, but hopefully it's not too bad. Hopefully he'll still be able to play.
Still in it at the quarterback position is going to be T. Anthony Wagner for West Creek. Chris Parson in at the slot receiver. So that's just a very athletic type of player. He can play any position he wants. And hand it off to Yasir Thomas, and he's not going to get that 2-point conversion.
Yep, he's just stopped in the background, Pat.
We're going to take it to a break. 30-6 is your score. West Creek looking to get back into it here on APSU-TV.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
Minutes on the play clock here in this second quarter. West Creek answers with that late deep bomb to Chris Parson. So that's something we're going to have to look forward to, Denzel. It's just some different offensive plays. We saw a lot of intermediate routes, but they fired it deep and it worked.
Yeah, Pat, I believe that's something they have in their playbook. I believe they don't pull it out too often, though, but this might be a game where it might be time to go deep in that playbook, and start pulling out more of these plays that they don't like to use often. It will definitely help keep Northeast defense off guard.
For the first time tonight, Cody Dreyer on the kick for West Creek.
And I believe they have Fred Orr and Sean Robinson from Northeast back to receive the kick.
I have to think they're going to try to kick it away from Fred Orr. They kick it over to Javian Browder. That was actually Tamario Vereen, and he's out to the outside and tackled out of bounds at the 48, it looks like the 48-yard line, so a great return from Vereen.
Yep, and with that kick, Pat, it wasn't kicked too deep. It was more of a little sky kick. They kicked it short trying to throw it off, but Tamario Vereen, he got it going too.
So 1st and 10 at the, looks like the 48-yard line is where Northeast will start. And they haven't had any trouble moving the ball all game, Denzel. It's been run, pass, run, and it's whatever they want they've gotten pretty much. And it's been at the helm of Heath Williams. He's been really good, just kind of leading the charge of that offense tonight.
You're right, but we also need to give some credit to this offensive line. They're giving him time back here to make these plays, whether it's he giving the holes to run it or giving that time so he can air it out.
Heath Williams, a strong run out to the 45-yard line. A great tackle by that Coyote. Not sure anyone wants to run full speed at Heath Williams.
Yep, he's one of the bigger guys to play quarterback. He stands at 6'1", 215, and he really knows how to play the position. He plays it well.
He can get away with those hits. Smaller QB cannot not come lowering his head like that, but Heath has just got that unique body style. And here he is at 2nd and 5. A jump pass, but finds it incomplete.
Yep, and the pass was there, Pat. It's just his receiver, Sean Robinson, just couldn't pull it in that time. And I don't know if this is just me or not, but with these bigger quarterbacks, it kind of make you think of somebody of a Cam Newton stature. So he might not have the height, but he has the size and the weight. And a lot of them nowadays, they can take the hit and keep moving. That's
the whole thing with Cam Newton. I mean, he can afford to take those hits because he's just bigger than most other quarterbacks. But such a luxury for Northeast to have a player who can do both. They hand it off to Tyreek Freeman, and he's still on his feet, but he's going to lose some yardage. 4th down.
I believe that's a loss of about 2 yards on the play. He tried to get it going. The West Creek defense was able to get there that time.
So the first time tonight we're going to have a punt. A punt by Northeast. Devin Dilhay is going to be on to punt away for Northeast, and West Creek gets their first stop of the night. And it's got to be reassuring to know that you can stop this offense. Just kind of get that through your mind.
Yep, that's one of the things they needed. They need to get this defense going, and they need to believe that they can stop them. And right now for West Creek, they got number 13, Elijah Reed, back to receive the punt.
A fake punt here, and they're going to get the first down. I do believe they're going to get the first down. That is number 54, Jimmy Wendell. He's already got a touchdown on the day, and he's now got a 4th down conversion.
And we see now that not only is Jimmy Wendell all over the place on defense, on offense as well, he's out here still moving. And I think that fake punt might have surprised a lot of people here. Like I said, Northeast is staying aggressive. They're keeping West Creek on their toes, and they're keeping them sharp.
Yeah, usually when you're up 30, you're not going for that fake punt. But that's not this team. Jimmy Wendell, I'm expecting him to throw for a touchdown pass here pretty soon, doing it all tonight. Heath Williams goes back to pass, fires it deep once again. He's got a man wide open, but it's just incomplete.
Yep, on that pass, he just puts it just a little bit too much out for him. I mean, the receiver was by himself for the most part. If that pass is just a little bit shorter, that might be another touchdown right there.
Yeah, need a little more loft on it to let his wide receiver run under it, but had a little bit of pressure up front from the Coyotes, so a pass he didn't want to throw there was Heath Williams, but still a great night for him. 8 touchdowns on the season coming into tonight. He's just furthering that progress for that hope that he can play at the next level. Heath Williams, once again, they fire it deep, looking for a man. Incomplete. He gets him far again.
Yep, and the play was very similar. They still got that receiver out there. This time, West Creek's defense was just a little bit more on it. But again, if that ball is just, it's just slightly off. If that timing starts to match up, and that's 2 touchdowns right there.
Heath Williams completing 50% of his passes, so not the most accurate quarterback, but he's still got the arm that not a lot of guys can say they have.
Yeah, especially at the high school state. I mean, completing 50% of your passes, that's great. That's going to get you looks, and that's exactly what Northeast needs.
Heath Williams, a quick screen over to Fred Orr, and he's still on his feet. Got the first down and more, tackled at the 10-yard line. And a great play call from Northeast.
And that's just a good pass right there, Pat. I mean, he took the snap, saw the pressure coming, got the ball out of his hands, got it to Fred Orr fast. The box, it was a tight window. He had to get that in. He got it in there. And then Fred Orr just did a great job staying on his feet, shook one defender off, and then still pushed for more yards after the contact.
1st and 10 at the 10-yard line. Tyreek Freeman in the backfield alongside Heath Williams. 9:30 remaining in this first half. Tyreek Williams brings it across close to the 10-yard line.
I believe that's 5 yards on that attempt, Pat.
No really home run runs so far for Northeast, but it's just that consistent 5, 6, 7-yard run that's been paying dividends so far. Here's Heath Williams once again, fires it over to Fred Orr, still looking for something, but he's just going to be stood up and dropped at the 10-yard line.
And more plays like this is what this West Creek defense needs. They need more players getting to the ball faster. But you see, whenever they get 2 or 3 or 4 guys to the ball, they can stop them at the line of scrimmage or just a little bit in front of. It's they've gotten a few big plays off, but like you're right, these constant 5, 6 yard plays, it's just they add up over time.
Ball spotted at the 9-yard line. 3rd and 4 to go. Handed off to Tyreek Freeman, and he's got a lot of room and another touchdown for Northeast.
And that's just a great hole they was able to open up for him, Pat. I mean, from the fake handoff with Sean Robinson coming across and the handoff to Tyreek Freeman, I mean, he basically went in untouched again, and that might be like the second time tonight.
Yeah, that's happened a couple times this evening. And they're going for 2 once more. Handed off to Tyreek Freeman, and he's going to get in once again. 38-6 is your score with 8:14 remaining in this first half. It's all Northeast here at West Creek. Stay with us here on APSU-TV.
I'm from Clarksville, Tennessee. Fort Knox, Kentucky. Jackson, Tennessee.
Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Knoxville, Tennessee.
Little Rock, Arkansas.
St. Louis, Missouri.
Gaffney, South Carolina.
Seattle, Washington.
Jeremy, Haiti.
I'm from Três Pontas, Brazil.
Chicago, Illinois.
Hawaii.
Phoenix, Arizona. Brazelton, Georgia.
From Modesto, California. I want to be a neonatal nurse, an athletic trainer, and accountant.
Playing the NFL.
An interior designer. Physical therapist.
Law enforcement officer.
Ultrasound technician. Social worker.
Physician. Politician.
Psychologist,
CPA.
Your social work.
38-6 here in the second quarter. Northeast continuing their dominance as they've done all season. Just in preference offense as they've had it all season. They haven't had much games where they've scored below 20 points. Coming into tonight, they're averaging 400 total yards per game, and they've had that and more really in this first half.
And I think something that might want to be noted with this Northeast team is even though they have this big lead that they have down early in the game, they're still keeping their foot on the gas pedal. They're not letting up. They're still staying aggressive. They're staying aggressive than most teams would, especially a high school team when they get up this far.
Sure. Well, it's you don't see it often from high school kids to have that focus that, hey, it's still, you hear the term 0-0 every now and then, but it's 0-0 to them, and they continuing that fight from the very beginning. That's why they've got the lead that they do at 32 points.
Yep, and that's something a lot of coaches, like, you can't always teach that into somebody to keep staying aggressive. I remember a lot of times teams that either play down or they slow down, and when that happens, that's when the game starts to turn. But this Northeast team seems to be on it.
Zach Thomas kicks it off for the first time. And Chris Parson with the ball, and he's got some room. Escapes a tackle and gets over to the 44-yard line. A good return from Chris Parson.
And that was a good return on the play for Chris Parson. He seemed to get up just a tad bit slow, but I believe he's fine. And they might have just been shook up just a little bit on the hit. But
the poor kid has played just about every position tonight. Played the running back position. He's played a little bit of quarterback. And now the kickoff return. But back in at quarterback as he started is Keyshawn Richardson.
And I think another reason too Keyshawn Richardson probably started is to give Chris Parsons a break. Because as you can see, like you said, he's playing the quarterback, he's at receiver, he's at running back, he's returning the ball. He's doing a lot for this West Creek team, and I know that workload, that can play a toll on your body.
Wagner fires it deep to Walter Beatty, but he can't get him.
Yep, the pass was just a little bit too deep on that one.
Anthony Wagner, the passer there, it wasn't a bad throw, just Walter Beatty couldn't get it under the lights.
Yeah,
second and 10.
You're absolutely right. I mean, Walter Bailey was open even though there was three guys chasing him. I mean, it wasn't a bad route. It's just the ball wasn't, it wasn't exactly where it needed to be.
Backing up 10 yards over to the 31-yard line, so it's like 1st and 20. Go back to pass, but just can't get the wide open Yasir Thomas. Yasir Thomas, we haven't called his name much tonight just because the scoreboard, I mean, they don't have the time just to keep running the ball. They've got to go after it, and that's just a real shame for Yasir Thomas.
You're absolutely right. They got to find ways to get it moving. And, I mean, Northeast, I'm pretty sure Northeast knows that Yasir Thomas is somebody that they like to go to. And even on that last play, they sent 5 players. So they're sending more and more each time.
A good hard count there from Anthony Wagner. They get Jimmy Wagner to come across the line. That'll bring up 2nd down and looks like 15, so a little closer to that first down
All for
conversion.
damn
All the
bass
way
guitar, it looks.
At the 45 of Northeast. An audible being called at the line for West Creek. 38-6 your score, 7:55 remaining in this first half. An incomplete pass to Chris Parson.
Yep, and I think that's what I saw coming with that audible. Guys, I noticed Chris Parsons more out towards the sideline. He was that second receiver off the ball. When I saw the audible, I can tell that they were looking to maybe slide the ball underneath to him so he can take off, but he just couldn't get a hold of it.
Pass was a little low, but still something you expect one of your top receivers to get their hands on.
And Northeast defense, they're still applying that pressure, still keeping a lot of them up close. Like I said before, they're only keeping one safety back, and that's number 3, JV and Browder.
Just one of the luxuries of having a front like that, and it's a low snap, and Anthony Wagner just dives on it, and that's going to be 4th down.
Yep, and now they're back in another 3-and-out situation, looking to punt. This game has not started at all how West Creek needed it to start, and it's something that they lost momentum early on in the game. I believe they might have lost focus too early on in the game.
Yeah, it was after that kickoff return that put them at the 1-yard line, and then they had the turnover from Messier Thomas. Just hasn't gone well for them this game, and really all season, sitting at 1-4. You can't take too many more of these losses sitting at 1-4. If they lose this game tonight, they're really going to have to win out to have any chance at all to make it to the playoffs. But we've got a false start on West Creek, and that'll back them up another 5 yards. The first down marker is all the way at the 45-yard line in Northeast, and looks like they're sitting at the 15 of West Creek.
You're right. It's these mistakes that's got them to this 1-4 record. I mean, a lot of times, if you look at their team, they have the athleticism to compete with every other team. They have the size to do it. It's just the small things, these little mistakes, that keep backing them up.
4th and 38 for West Creek. A punt nearly gets blocked for West Creek. And they're just going to let the ball bounce. It's going to roll out to the 49-yard line. So 1st and 10 is where Northeast will start. Heath Williams trots back out on the field.
Yep,
and he's got to be feeling invincible right now. He's played lights out.
You're right. This is great field position for them. He's been having a really good game today.
Only 1 turnover here for Northeast, and that was that interception picked off by Walter Beatty, which was still a great throw from Heath Williams. Just the wide receiver couldn't get his hand on it. A timeout is called for West Creek. That's going to be their second charged timeout of the half. And at this moment, we like to thank TNHighSchoolFootball.com. TNHighSchoolFootball.com is the source for all things high school football in Tennessee. From Donovan Stewart's victory formation column to podcast interviews with area coaches, TNHighSchoolFootball.com has you covered. Nominate and vote for weekly players at TNHighSchoolFootball.com. 38-6 your score. Northeast sitting very pretty at 38-6, 5-0 their record, but we kind of mentioned it earlier. They've got some violation trouble with a player that was not legally allowed to be playing, and he played in 5 games this season. We do not know the identity just yet. Yes. But worst case scenario, all 5 of those wins turns into losses, and you're sitting at 0-5 if that ruling does come.
You're right, and if that was to happen, they would have to win out to have a chance to make the playoff. That can be really tough on their season right now, especially the way they've been playing.
Heath Williams fires deep, and he's got him. Another catch from Fred Orr. The man can do it all. The running back just does a straight go route, and Heath Williams finds him for another completion and another huge gain down at the 8-yard line.
Yeah, it seems like Northeast plans on keeping their big 3 in all game. Heath, Tyreek, and Fred, those are their go-to guys. They're really pushing this offensive force, and it's really moving down the field at a good pace.
Tyreek Freeman in the backfield at the 8-yard line. Heath Williams takes the snap, fires in the end zone, dropped. Had the man open to Mario Vereen.
Yeah, I think that pass might have just been a little bit too low, Pat. It might have been a little bit too low. He might have slipped up trying to catch it, but I mean, it's 2nd and goal now, so they're still in the red zone, still in perfect position to punch it in for the score.
It wouldn't surprise me if we see Tyreek Freeman here. Every time he's got the ball, it seems like he's walked into the end zone with a red carpet in front of him, laid out by that offensive line. You mentioned earlier, this offensive line has just been so dominant up front. And Heath Williams with the ball and goes into the end zone for a touchdown.
And we've seen this multiple times tonight. This offensive line is making it easy for him in a way. I mean, he's going into the end zone untouched, and he's not the only one. Tyreek has also gotten into the end zone untouched. They're really opening up these holes and blocking for these guys up here.
Another touchdown to add to Heath Williams' total. He's just padding his stats at this point, sitting at.
I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing, especially in football.
Sure.
I mean, if them stats are padded, you must be doing something good in most cases.
Fires it into the end zone, but it falls incomplete. So we're going to send it to a break once again. 6 minutes left to go in this first half. 44-6 rather is your score. Northeast on top. Stay with us for the rest of the second half here on APSU-TV.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
We welcome you back to West Creek High School. 44-6, your score. It's something that Northeast is pretty used to all season, Denzel. They haven't won by single digits this season, so it's been all double digits and beyond. So it's just been a great season for Northeast, and they're continuing that momentum. You mentioned it, not kind of getting complacent with this offense or defense for that matter.
You're right, and when you speak about being complacent, complacency really can be your worst enemy. When you get complacent, you don't typically start to push as much as you were before.
Loring Beecham gets it up to the 23-yard line from that return. He got the ball at the 2-yard line, so a decent return on his end. And that West Creek offense is going to come back out on the field, led by number 10, T. Anthony Wagner. Anthony Wagner standing tall at 6'1". He's only a sophomore, so I hate to say it, but this is valuable experience for his later years in high school, but he's not thinking about that right now.
You're right, Pat. Right now he's thinking about right here now in this game. I mean, yeah, he has time for that, but right now he's trying to look to get this win on a big win for them. It would be actually.
Wagner looking for. It looked like Isaiah Gnu, so just nothing there going. Hash far out in front and low, and that's not a recipe for a complete pass. So 2nd and 10, 5:44 remaining. Sear Thomas still in the backfield for this offense. Wagner fires it out to Walter Beatty. Beatty looking for some room, and he's still on his feet. Gets tackled near that first down marker. Looks to be just short from the booth. He is. The ball's going to be spotted at the 31-yard line.
Yeah,
second
still,
about 2.
That was a good pass to Walter Beatty. They're still pushing a little bit. They just can't get the yardage that they're looking to get. The yardage that they have success with. I mean, it's been short yardage every time or 3 and out. They just can't get that big play to really boost their momentum.
Handed off to Yasir Thomas. Yasir Thomas breaks away for one of the few times tonight, still on his feet. He's got the first down and more. Tackled out to the 43-yard line.
And plays like that are what they're looking for from Yasir Thomas. I mean, like I said before, he's a workhorse for this team. He's somebody that if he gets going, the whole team can get going.
Look to feed this man just going into the second half, maybe just a little confidence going in to halftime. Wagner goes back to throw, looking for someone and can't find anyone. He's going to be swallowed up by that Northeast defensive line at the 46-yard line.
Yep, and this Northeast defense has been keeping the pressure on these guys the whole game. And I want to say, like, it's not even the defense, it's the team as a whole. They have this certain swagger that they came into the game with, Pat. And when you come into the game like that, you know, you keep your confidence up, and then you play good, and you get the score to where it's at now. You know, it makes it easier for you to keep up the good play.
We haven't mentioned it tonight, but Northeast without their head coach, Chad Watson. His wife just had a baby last Friday, so he has not been at any of the practices, and you couldn't really tell it from that sideline. Everyone's pretty as intense as they would with their head coach being out there, but good to know if you've got a head coach that you've got some assistants that can really take over the reins and not lose any steps.
And you're right. He's been out for a week or two now with his wife giving birth, and this team is still keeping up the good play. These coaches are still out here doing what they need to do to get the job done. Just like on that last play, I believe it was number 50, Trey Owen, who came in and got the sack. Like, they're still striving out here, even with their head coach missing. They're not letting that slow them down from what they have to accomplish on the field.
West Creek calling their final timeout of this half with 3:29 remaining. 44-6 is your score. And the touchdowns have come just about from everywhere. You've got Heath Williams with a rushing and also a couple passing touchdowns, but we've also got probably the weirdest one of the night with Jimmy Wendell with the recovery for a touchdown. And you could really see how happy his teammates were for the big guy to get a touchdown, and not something that happens very often.
Yeah, that's something that can be a huge spark plug for a team. I know a lot of times when you see the offensive or defensive linemen, you don't ever think about them getting the ball. So when they do get the ball and get that chance, and they can punch it in for a score, you know, the whole team cheers for them.
3rd and 13 when West Creek comes back out onto the field with 3:29 remaining. Anthony Wagner in at the quarterback position. Looks like a false start. It's going to be on Chris Parson. Wide receiver went a little early.
Yeah, they had him. They had Chris Parsons out here all the way wide out at the numbers by himself. It was just him in the corner. I think he was just a little bit too anxious.
Looking to get some separation for his quarterback. Not something that's happened really at all season. Or all game, rather.
And again, Chris Parsons is out here lined up with the corner by himself. Let's see if they go to him or not.
They're going to give him a chance. Chris Parsons got it. A great throw and a great catch. Tackled out to the 28-yard line. A professional throw from T. Anthony Wagner.
Yep, and I believe that's the play they was looking for. I mean, with that first play with the false start, I just think they went back out there and ran the same thing over again. They know that's something that they're looking to get him his separation.
They're going to give him a chance. Chris Parsons got it. Chris Parson did a good job with the hesitation, kind of freezing that corner. And it's worked a couple times where they've gone deep, but they just haven't fired that shot too many times tonight. Bringing the pressure is Northeast. Wagner gets it away barely, and I'm not sure how, because he had Justin Osborne all over him. Had 3 or 4 others.
Yeah, like you said, that was number 5, Justin Osborne. And then there was 4 more with him that came. So that was 5 in the backfield, and he still managed to get that ball out. But that just shows that's that defensive pressure that Northeast is keeping on them. They're sending 5 and 6 guys at a time. They're not just sending 3 or 4 offensive linemen. They're sending everybody.
Putting a lot of trust in that secondary. And that's a luxury to have. If you trust your secondary, you can afford to send a linebacker or 2 into the backfield. Sending pressure is Northeast again, and he's dropped immediately.
Yep, and there's a flag on the play, Pat. Not sure who it's on. This one could be coming back.
Yeah, it looks like it is going to be holding on West Creek, so that's going to back them up 10 yards. 2nd and 20. with 2:34 remaining.
And that time on that play, the defense was just smothering, Pat. I mean, I believe they sent 6 people into the backfield this time. And they really, when they send that many people, like you said, they have trust in that secondary. And the secondary gave them good reason to have trust because they're actually playing well and keeping up with their man.
Just a confirmation, it is holding on West Creek. So to back them up 10 yards and bring up 2nd down and 20. Another audible being called at the line for West Creek. See if they can take a couple shots here. Really got nothing to lose with the score being the way it is. They do. They fire it deep, incomplete.
Yeah, I think that time the quarterback, number 10, he was just, he threw it anticipating Chris Parsons to already be out there. He just threw it way too early for him.
Yeah, the ball landed at the 10-yard line, and poor Chris Parson was just crossing the 20-yard line when the ball hit the ground. So that's what happens when you put pressure. You make the QB a little anxious. You throw it when he really does have some time, but 3rd down and 24 with 2:17 remaining.
And they're looking to keep Chris Parsons out here wide out by himself. So we can look to see if they're going to him again.
Batted away there by the secondary. That was Lejeune Lewis. They were trying to get Yasir Thomas out on the screenplay, but just sniffing it out as this defense. It almost looks like they know the playbook top to bottom of West Creek.
Yeah, these short passes they keep doing, behind the line of scrimmage, those are dangerous plays to run, especially when this Northeast defense is sending 6 and 7 guys each time. That's dangerous when they're sending that many people to the backfield. There's not enough people blocking with that short pass coming.
To punt away here for West Creek is going to be number 25, Damian Crisp. Northeast has gotten close a couple times on these punts.
Yep, and they got number 2, Fred Orr, back for the return.
A penalty, and it's going to be a delay of game on West Creek. Speaking of block punts, we do have someone on the field here, Devin Dilhay, who has blocked a punt this season. And a very impressive young man, Devin Dilhay. Got some offers from Air Force, Ball State, Navy, Tennessee Tech, and on 24/7 Sports, he's listed as a 3-star athlete. That just shows kind of the sort of athletes that Northeast has over there. Just very impressive.
You're right, Pat. He's one of a few guys who have a lot of offers on this team. They're really out there getting after it on defense.
The ball on the ground, it looks like West Creek got it. Fred Orr could not get the ball. He had multiple attempts to get it, but just couldn't get his hands on the ball.
Yep, he just fumbled the catch, and once it got underneath him and the West Creek was able to get there in time, they was able to move his body out the way. As you can see here, he tried to catch it, couldn't get his hands on it, and there's so many West Creek defenders all the way there, ready to get it.
Wasn't the only one who couldn't find the ball.
All for a damn bass guitar.
All of them couldn't get it. We do have an injured Coyote on the field. It looked like it was number 42, Xavier Crouch, on the play. But 44-6 is your score with 2 minutes remaining in this game. Denzel, I'm going to put you on the spot. Just kind of your thoughts of this first half. It's been all Northeast, but there's been some fight from West Creek later in the second half.
There's definitely been some fight from West Creek. I mean, they're not completely out of the game yet. They have a play here and there that shows that they want to keep fighting for this, but they just can't get it going. But if they can string together more of these plays where they're getting these 10-yard gains or even these 5-yard gains and keep them coming, they can force their way back into this game. I mean, there's still a whole nother second half to play, and that's still a lot of time, especially in football, to get something going and to make a comeback.
Of course. Luckily, that player was Xavier Crouch walking off under his own power. Good to see for that young man. And the Coyote offense is going to have another opportunity with 2 minutes remaining in this first half.
And let's see what they can do with this last 2 minutes. That was a great recovery they got off of that punt, off the missed catch. Hopefully they can get something out of it.
Wagner throws it and it falls incomplete. Speaking of the player who just talked about, that was Devin Dilhay. And it does look like the quarterback comes up injured there. See Anthony Wagner.
Yeah, he's looking like he's a little bit hurt. It could be a leg injury, not too sure with this way. It seems like he was protecting his either his knee or his ankle as he was going to the ground.
Really tough to see a lot of injuries in this first half. But on the side for Northeast, I guess we can talk about just kind of moving forward. If that record does stand 5-0, then they're sitting pretty, and you got to like their chances to run the table. They went to the state playoffs last year, kind of got bounced out in that first round, but they're looking to progress on further in the state playoffs.
Yeah, if they get to keep their 5-0 record, that's going to be huge for them, especially with the way they're playing. Because even with that player that that they're not playing because of the ineligibility rule, I mean, we can see that they're still capable of making big plays and still playing. So it was more of a whole team effort than it was just that one player. And it would be sad to see that record go to waste.
It's got to kind of bug the Northeast fans even more when you're seeing a score like this. You possibly get punished 5 games for playing a player that ultimately doesn't look like it's making much of a difference here tonight with 44-6 the score with 1:45 remaining. And Chris Parson is going to be back in at the quarterback position. They've had to rotate guys back in, whether it's injury or just trying to find some spark for this offense.
Yeah, they're trying to find somebody to get it going out there for him.
Parson keeps it, looking for some room, and he's got it out to the 10-yard line, looking for the end zone, bumped out of bounds. A hard hit from Javion Browder.
You're right, Pat. That was a hard hit to get him out of bounds. You watch the replay right here. Chris Parsons takes the ball, runs outside, and he was taking off. I mean, he has the footwork to make it, but like you said, number 3, Javion Browder, he laid the hammer on the way. He forced him out of bounds.
A great recovery speed. It was the safety standing tall at 5'10".
First and goal.
Chris Parson with Yasir Thomas in the backfield for this Coyote offense at the 4-yard line. Handed off to Yasir Thomas, and he's dropped immediately by another name we've called a lot tonight, Rakeem Savusa.
You're right, and not only with Rakeem Savusa, but Makai Higgins was also back there in the backfield for to also assist on the tackle.
Really, when Yasir Thomas has found kind of success in this game, it's when he's been able to bounce it out to the outside, but up the middle has been non-existent for this offense. It knocks him back all the way out to the 7-yard line.
Yep, and we got a slightly different look in the backfield for the West Creek Coyotes. Now they're starting to keep,
the ball is on the ground. Not sure who has it, but Chris Parson lost it again, and Northeast has got it. Northeast has got the fumble recovery, and with 45 seconds left, West Creek just cannot hold on to the ball.
Yes, and that's not what West Creek needed right now. You see here, he tried to hand the ball off. He tried to pitch it out in that triple option, but he just couldn't get it to him, and Northeast was able to get back on the ball and recover it.
We'll see the aggressiveness of Northeast here with 45 seconds left. They could try to go for some points here. They aren't in the victory formation, so they're going to give it to go here with 46 seconds left.
Yeah, Pat, and they're looking to air it out.
Fred Orr once again. Heath Williams, he's just going for it tonight. He's just very close. He can't get the precision there with Fred Orr.
And I think that is a lot of times with Northeast, all these really big plays that they could have, I mean, they just be slightly off just by an inch or two. I mean, without that slight difference, that might be 3 or 4, 40-plus yard gains that they're getting in this game.
That's got to kind of make West Creek feel even more helpless. It's not like Northeast has played a lights-out half so far. I mean, they've had their mistakes just as much as West Creek. They've just converted more when it counts. Keith Williams looking for something. Looking to be brought down, but still on his feet, and he's got a lot of room and a lot of offensive linemen to go, but he's dropped. A great tackle from West Creek.
And you're right, and that's that will from Heath. I mean, he just wouldn't give up on the play. Even after the ball was snapped and he was in the background and he was being covered up by all those West Creek defenders, he still was just trying to push, trying to make something happen. And I believe he might have got a couple yards gained on that play.
Heath will having to come out for a play, but it will not matter. As the clock goes to 0, 44-6 is your score. Stick with us as we'll get some halftime show to go and the rest of the second half right here on APSU-TV.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
In this first half, a half that seems that it will never end, especially if you're a West Creek fan. 44-6 here. And they're just going to run one snap and get it into the half.
Yeah, I don't believe Northeast will be looking to try to score within these last 3 seconds. They might just go ahead and get. Oh.
Bill Hay, the linebacker, still on his feet. A lot of room to go. Crossing the 40-yard line, padding his stats some more, and he's tackled at the 50-yard line.
And that was a good run by Devin Dill. I thought Devin was just gonna go ahead and take a knee or something, let it go. But he actually took it himself and ran it. He got a pretty good long run on that one. I mean, they're showing that even though it's 3 seconds left in the half, they're still gonna fight. They're still gonna try to go for a score.
So for real this time, we are going to send it to a break in the halftime. 44-6 is your score. We're going to have a little halftime show, and then the rest of the second half, stay with us here on APSU TV.
I'm Ferdinand. You look at me and think big. You think scary, but I'm a little misunderstood. Sorry, I almost killed you. You've all been misunderstood. I'm not a fighter.
I don't understand that at all.
Kids with learning and attention issues like dyslexia and ADHD are misunderstood too. Take the time to understand.
Best plan ever!
With the right support, everyone can reach their full potential because you can't judge a bull by his cover. Learn more at understood.org.
The Department of Communication at APSU is unique in providing students hands-on experience from the first day they enter the classroom. The award-winning sports broadcasting program covers almost all sporting events for the Govs and Lady Govs. So how is Awesome Peay sports broadcasting program different than the others? All of the broadcasts are ran by the students.
I discovered the sports broadcasting concentration, and 4.5 years later, it's been an awesome experience. Since game one, they put me on a camera. I got that experience immediately.
With this program, we learn so many positions. We learn every position, really, whether it's play-by-play or in the control room with replay, technical director, even being a producer.
I learned different positions, not just camera work. I learned inside the production studio, outside the production studio. I know how to be in front of a camera and also behind the cameras.
Some would say that the most important person of a broadcast is the camera operator. They are the ones who are giving the viewers what they want to see.
Having good camera work from a broadcast is basically what you see is what the audience see.
Replay is so important for the game because it gives the fans another perspective. It gives them more engaged into the broadcast. You know, when a great play happens, the fans, they want to see it again. They want to see it in slow motion. They want to see it from different angles.
It benefited me totally. It molded me to a better person just overall.
The experience can actually be topped anywhere else. The things that I've been able to do at Austin Peay have been awesome.
How will you lead to a better future? Will you lead through life-changing innovations, or will your leadership shine through the quality of your work? Success is defined by the individual. So it's time to think about the person you want to be and where you will learn to lead through excellence. It's time to become a governor at Austin Peay.
Listen up, Ohio Valley Conference fans. ESPN's mission is to serve sports fans anytime, anywhere. And now with ESPN Plus, fans can get access to thousands of live events and original programming for only $4.99 a month. That means you can finally watch more sports from the Ohio Valley Conference anytime, anywhere on all your favorite devices. To access ESPN Plus, download the ESPN app or visit ESPN.com and just tap on the Start My 7-Day free trial to get started. ESPN Plus, more sports, more conferences, more schools, more universities, more teams. Download the ESPN app or visit ESPN.com today.
Here with head coach Taylor Mott. And coach, I know that, well, it's certainly been an exciting route for you the past couple of years. There's been a lot of growth with your team and something to look forward to. Obviously this season you've got some underclassmen, but I want to start with last season because you had some incredible players, especially upperclassmen. And those players not only earned conference honors, but earned honors within the team in terms of breaking records as well. So let's go back to last year, 2017 year, you win the OVC regular season championship and conference championship. What does that mean to your team?
I mean, it's really rewarding to see all of your hard work pay off. Last year was my sixth season here, sorry. And it was a process, you know. I inherited a great group of girls my first year here, but over time, and we'd had so many coaches before me, the recruiting had kind of fallen to the wayside. So it's just really nice to see hard work on the girls' end pay off. So, I mean, it doesn't get any better than winning a conference championship. Yeah, and I was blessed to be at that game, and that was really incredible. But the biggest thing that you took from that was obviously after that, you got to play in the NCAAs, which is a big deal, especially for an OVC conference team. How was that trip? Because you guys took on UCLA, correct? We did. We went out to LA and faced UCLA. It's really hard to replicate in your gym what some of those teams are doing. Some of the girls on the UCLA team were 6'6", 6'7". We don't have any girls in our gym that size, so it's kind of an eye-opener, but a great experience for the girls to see kind of what that level of volleyball looks like. And so now that we've been there, our goal is to get back there and actually win the first round of the NCAA tournament. So, like I said, it's really hard to replicate that size of athlete in our gym. But you know, we've seen it now, so we know what to expect. Yeah. Well, explain the trip, because I mean that in itself seemed to be an experience. So I want to know what it was like, especially for the girls, considering you guys don't regular season travel to the West Coast. No. So what was that like? Well, I mean, it started when we did the selection show. We were in the selection show up in the stadium watching, and we had been projected to go to Iowa, which would have kind of been cool because Kristen Sucker's from Iowa, so that would have been neat to play in her home state. But as the sites kept going by and Iowa was not a site anymore, when it got down to the very end and all that were left were California schools, you know, we kind of got excited because if you're going to make that trip, no offense against Iowa, but, you know, most of our team had never been to California, so that was a great experience just from the moment they announced that we were going to be out in LA. I mean, where else would you want to be? I mean, yeah, really cool to be out in LA. Especially playing the sport you love and coaching it as well. Absolutely. So it was cool in LA. UCLA did a first-class job of running the event. They took care of us. They were welcoming. It was a quick turnaround. We didn't have a whole lot of free time out there. We did venture down to the pier. But, you know, a great trip all in all. Yeah, now I'm curious about the people that were a part of that team. You had some major players, and one specifically, but the other couple were very big as well. I'm not going to say their names. I'm going to let you give them the credit. Well, I know everybody knows Ashley Slay. She had a giant personality. Sometimes, you know, that personality was a distraction, but for the most times, she just brought so much energy and passion to our game and to our team. Everywhere we go, people knew who she was. But I think I think what people don't realize is Christina White, who was a member of this team, she was kind of the unsung hero. You know, she was a kid that had torn her ACL, came back from ACL surgery, and really was just such a stable piece in what we were doing. You know, she doesn't have the same personality as Ashley, but when you go back and you look and see what she had done, such a huge part of our team. You know, Ashley was kind of the face of the team. Christina was really the backbone of the team. I mean, she was just so consistent all the time and so steady. It was really tough to lose those two.
Yeah.
We also had Allie O'Reilly. She was a Spitfire transfer from UIC, a Chicago kid. She was all Chicago, if you know what I mean. That kid brought so much energy and passion to our program and to the game. You know, she's that kid that stays up all night watching film, watching other teams play, like a volleyball nerd, and I love that kid.
Yeah, well, we've definitely got more with you. And although we talked a little bit about last season, I'm excited to hear what you've got for us this year. Head coach Taylor Mott of the volleyball team. We'll be right back here on Govs on the Go.
Listen up, Ohio Valley Conference fans. ESPN's mission is to serve sports fans anytime, anywhere. And now with ESPN Plus, fans can get access to thousands of live events and original programming for only $4.99 a month. That means you can finally watch more sports from the Ohio Valley Conference anytime, anywhere on all your favorite devices. To access ESPN Plus, download the ESPN app or visit ESPN.com and just tap on the Start My 7-Day free trial to get started. ESPN Plus, more sports, more conferences, more schools, more universities, more teams. Download the ESPN app or visit ESPN.com today.
How will you lead to a better future? Will you lead through life-changing innovations, or will your leadership shine through the quality of your work? Success is defined by the individual. So it's time to think about the person you want to be and where you will learn to lead through excellence. It's time to become a governor at Austin Peay.
Don't worry about it.
We are more than just athletes. We inspire scholars. We inspire leaders. We inspire champions. We inspire family. This is the Ohio Valley Conference.
Govs on the Go, we're back here with head coach Taylor Mott of the volleyball team. And, well, we talked a little bit about last year and obviously some of those key players that had something to do with your success and getting that OVC ring, which you were the only one to do it on campus, so that was a pretty big deal as a team.
Pretty cool.
But now I want to know about this year because you've got high expectations and you recognize that as the coach. But what is something that you do expect out of your team other than that conference win, more specifically in terms of technicalities?
I mean, I hope that we pick up where we left off, you know. Great programs are not usually one and done. You know, you try to build that culture and you try to keep that culture going and that level of talent. And so I have high hopes for this team that, you know, last year wasn't just a fluke or a one and done thing. You know, we do have some good underclassmen. We have some good returners from last year. So I just hope we continue to build and get better. And like I said, hopefully get to the NCAA tournament and get a win in the first round.
Mm-hmm. Well, when I'm sitting and I'm watching your games, I know a person that you praise a lot and the OVC praises a lot is Kristen Stucker, your setter. I mean, she comes back and she's the top setter from last year in the NCAAs in terms of success. And I just have to know what her impact is on this team this year.
Kristen is unbelievable. I mean, she's so athletic, and over her 4 years, she's grown so much as a setter, just as far as the decision-making piece. But again, she's that kid that's kind of our unsung hero because she's kind of a more quiet kid, but she's just so consistent. Like, you rarely see her make a mistake. You rarely see her, you know, be out of sorts or not able to run her offense. So she's just, like, this year, I feel like she is the backbone of our team because she's so consistent and shows up every day to practice and to play. And you know, she holds herself to a very high standard. So we hold her the same standard, but she is definitely a key in this team.
Yeah. You and I mentioned the Ole Miss win was a blast for you, obviously. That happened recently. But now you've got conference coming. And so there's a lot of things in volleyball, especially with those top 5 teams in the NCAA. You know, there's a lot of upsets, things that happen. But now that it's conference play, what's the difference here as a coach?
Well, I mean, I think really we play our preseason schedule to prepare us for conference. So we play some tougher matches in the preseason, really just to gear up for conference play. So we opened up this weekend with SEMO and Martin. You know, and really it's about kind of reeling in and focusing on those teams. Preseason, we kind of just try to worry about ourselves and what we're doing, but now we kind of have to dial it in really focus on what those two teams are doing and how are we going to play against them.
Yeah, I mean, and you said you start by traveling a little bit, but what's the home atmosphere like in the Dunn, especially when we talk about that OVC championship? How does that impact your team?
I mean, in my 7 years here, the cool thing that I've seen is the community impact. You know, I think Coach Healy's done a great job, and some of our other coaches at getting their athletes to come to matches and be supportive. Just that student-athlete environment has been really good. Ryan Ivey had a great impact on that. But I think just being in this community and seeing volleyball evolve from my first year here to where nobody plays volleyball, nobody knows what it is. There wasn't a single person in the community at our matches really. And now you look in there and you see people from the community, you see kids from the community. That's what's been cool to me because it's such a great sport. Tennessee's a little bit behind, I would say, in the world of volleyball, but it's been really neat to me to see those people show up at our matches.
Yeah, but now going back to the players just a little bit, I do want to find out some of your players that are new, the people that we may not have heard so much last year because of those talented seniors. Name some that we might not recognize just by checking out your team.
Right. Cecily Gable is one of those. She saw some playing time for us last year, but it was kind of sometimes on the right side, sometimes on the outside. She's had some amazing matches this year. I mean, she hits the ball harder than anybody I think I've ever seen.
Yes, I agree.
And so, really it was just last year with Christina being so steady and Brooke as well, it was kind of hard to find a spot for her. But this year, I mean, she's played in almost every single match, and she is really explosive and athletic, and she can do some unbelievable things. So she's somebody this year that I think teams are, they weren't expecting. She's going to be definitely a weapon for us. Kaylee Taff and Logan Carter, our middles this year, they played quite a bit for us last year. Logan's really kind of come into her own, and she had a great few matches this weekend at Ole Miss or at Rice. Yep. But I think Jenny Garrigg's our libero. She does a great job too. We've just got some key pieces that are steady that buy into what we're doing and they work hard, and that's all we ask.
Yeah. Well, final thoughts on this team before we finish up.
I'm excited about this team. Everybody's so worried about what the personality is without Ashley Slay. I think we've done a pretty good job of finding our own personality. We may not be as loud, but we're definitely as silly and as fun to be around, and working really hard. So I hope we can have the same success that we had last year.
Well, I would say that in the conference and on campus, everybody knows the fun that the volleyball team's having. So
we try to keep it fun.
Yeah, so that's a positive. Head coach Taylor Mott from the volleyball team, we certainly appreciate it, Coach.
Thanks for having me.
Hello, everybody. This is Real Talk. I'm Aaron King, your host. Alongside me every week is our co-stars for this show, Emmett Thomas and Marcus Modi. We're going to be here every single week in this studio talking sports, Austin Peay sports, other college football, and we're also going to be talking a lot of NFL. So if you want to get in on the action, you want to get on the sports, get in on the Real Talk, then come on by APSU-TV. Also brought to you by WAPX FM 91.9. We'll see you here.
We welcome you back here to West Creek High School. 44-6 is your score. Just under about 30 seconds left until the players will come back out onto the field and begin this second half. And if things don't get too much better here, Denzel, the running clock will happen, and that's really up to West Creek if they want to put a stop to some of this bleeding here at 44-6.
Yeah, with the score how it is now, if West Creek doesn't come out and do something different from what they did in the first half, it's not going to look to improve or get any better. If Northeast stays hot like they were, again, that's not going to be something that will be in West Creek's favor.
For West Creek, it's been mostly T. Anthony Wagner at the quarterback position, but we saw late into the second half that Chris Parsons did end up going into that quarterback role because of the injury to Wagner. Yep. If you were the coaching staff, would you have Parson or Wagner back there?
Honestly, it's like they can both throw, but it just depends on what I'm looking to do. Like a lot of times when they're looking to run the ball more, they're going to put Parsons back there at the quarterback position. But, T. Anthony Wagner can run almost just as well. But really, I don't think that's what their main focus should be. I think this second half they might look to turn it around, look to try something new, maybe look to start airing it out more and catching the defense off guard.
Yeah, there's not going to be a touchdown where you can get a 38-point touchdown. So you're just going to have to get it 1 yard, 1 point, 1 touchdown at a time. And it's going to be tough. Don't get us wrong up here in the booth, but there's still plenty of time. You got 2 whole quarters remaining. And now for Northeast, it's going to be something that we've complimented them a lot on so far this game. It's just to stay confident, don't go back in your shell, keep that attack mode on, and you're going to come out of here with a W and a 6-0 record tonight.
Yeah, this has actually been one of the few times where I've seen a high school team keep their foot on the gas pedal the whole time. You know, Northeast easily could have got up by 30 points and then stopped or slowed down and put in their backups. But they're keeping the starters in, was showing that they're wanting to keep going. They're wanting to keep fighting. They're not looking to, oh, we're up, let's put the backups in and call it a game. They want to make sure that they put this game away.
But at some point, you do have to kind of protect yourself, because say you got a Heath Williams injury. Is there a point in the game where you're like, hey, we're up, let's go ahead and get some, maybe the young guys in for next year? Are you putting your foot down this whole game, you think?
With me, I believe that for most of the third quarter, I'm going to keep my starters in. If it doesn't seem that the score deficit is getting any lower, then I might start to try to add in some second strings or thirds later on in the third quarter going into the early fourth. But until then, I'm going to keep my starters in just to make sure I keep this lead.
Now, West Creek did receive the ball in the first half, so that means Northeast will receive the kickoff in this second half. We'll see how aggressive West Creek will be right out of the gate. Are they going to go for an onside kick or just kind of kick it deep and concede some field position? But it'll be very interesting to see how aggressive West Creek comes out early, especially on defense. Are they going to send more defenders in the linebacker areas, or are they just going to kind of drop back and give the score what it is? But all interesting topics that we still got a whole second half to play.
Yeah, and if I'm the coaches for West Creek, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to come out straight off the bat with an onside kick, only because if it goes wrong, I don't want to give up that field position. So me personally, I'm going to try to kick it deep and have them starting off on their side of the field, and then hope my defense can hold them and force them to a 3-and-out.
West Creek starting to trot out onto the field to kick this one away. Going to be number 88 for the Coyotes, Cody Dreyer, to start this second half underway. And I mentioned if the score doesn't get too much any better, we're going to have a running clock more than likely. But it's up to West Creek. Back to receive deep. We're going to have Fred Orr. He had the kind of punt loss, one of the few turnovers tonight for Northeast, but it gave West Creek an opportunity. Once again, couldn't capitalize. That's really been the story tonight.
You're right. Northeast hasn't had too many mistakes. They've had a few, but, you know, every time after they have a mistake, they tighten up, and they try not to let it happen again. And also back there with Fred Orr is Sean Robinson, number 19.
A pooch kick here for Javion Browder, and he's going to keep the ball and dive forward to the 40, looks like the 44-yard line. So they didn't kick it deep or an onside kick. They kind of kept the same sort of thing. And we are going to have a running clock here. The clock continuing to move at 11:40. So it's up to West Creek to see how long they want this game to go. And it's going to start on the defensive end.
You're right, and if this Northeast offense comes out hot and striking like it was in the first half, I mean, this game there's a chance it could end early. But like I said, I hope West Street's gonna stay here and try to continue to fight. They really couldn't use it right now. It wouldn't be a big win, a big upset if they can come back from this deficit and turn this game around.
Hand it off to Fred Orr, bouncing out to his left, and he's got a lot of room, crossing the 40-yard line and more. Looking for a tackler, and he finally gets dropped down at the 20-yard line. A huge gain, one of the biggest gains on the ground tonight for the Eagles.
And that's what I was talking about with this Northeast offense. They were going to come back out in this second half and start hot, and we see right there that they're looking to come out and still strike.
Staying in that same formation are the Eagles, with Tyreek Freeman and also Fred Orr, two players in the backfield that do have 100-yard rushing per game. And here's Tyreek Freeman still on his feet, diving forward to the 10-yard line, close to that first down marker.
And he just keeps his feet moving. If you see here after the handoff, he gets hit, and even though he's going slightly backwards, he still keeps his feet moving, keeps moving backwards. He's still going for these yards.
For running back, you're not always going to get that clean hole that you can kind of shoot for, but staying on your feet and just pushing for those yards or something for a good running back to go after. 1st and 10 at the 10.
And I mean, and when you have a running back like Tyreek Freeman, I mean, the hits don't bother him too much because he keeps moving, because he keeps going forward, he's going to keep getting these yards.
Bring up 2nd and goal at the, might have given him a yard on that to make it 2nd and goal at the 9. Devin Dilhay, the outstanding linebacker coming in at for the offensive end. A lot of versatile players on this Northeast team, something that's really kind of their identity. They can do just about anything with any player.
And I think what plays most for them, Pat, is the fact that with all these players that can do different things, they're all athletic, they're all big, they're all fast. So they have multiple players that they can plug into multiple spots and get the same result.
Heath Williams ends up throwing it out of bounds, but there is a flag on the play. This could be holding in the secondary. 2 flags on the field in the red zone.
Let's see what the refs are going to call it. I believe it might be a holding, so it might come back because Heath ran out the pocket, extended the play, but I think one of his offensive linemen might have got their hands underneath the pads or just tugged on the jersey a little bit too hard.
It's actually going to be an illegal receiver downfield and also a holding downfield, so those penalties will offset. So we're going to play 2nd down once again, 2nd and 9, or 2nd and goal at the 9 rather, with 8:24 remaining in this 3rd quarter.
And I like to notice that they loaded up this right side of the field, trying to drag extra defenders away from that left side.
A touchdown, a great catch. What a great catch from number 17, Tevion Matthews. The toe touch.
And just like I said, they loaded the right side with 3 receivers, leaving him over there one-on-one by himself with the corner, and he was able to get his feet in for the touchdown. That's a great play he made on there.
A great play and a great camera shot from our student crew here at West Creek. What a great throw from Heath Williams, and not to be outdone from Tevion Matthews. And one of the few times we're going to get to see an extra point from Northeast.
I believe this is the first kick that they've done all game. They've gone for 2 after every other touchdown except for this one.
Zach Thomas on to kick, and the kick is good. So with that outstanding throw and catch, the score 51-6 with 8:12 remaining in this 3rd quarter. Stick with us as we've got the rest of this 2nd half here on APSU-TV.
We are more than just athletes. We inspire scholars. We inspire leaders. We inspire champions. We inspire family. This is the Ohio Valley Conference.
51-6 your score. 8:12 remaining in this 3rd quarter. The special teams unit for this Northeast team has had plenty of work tonight. When you score 51 points, you're going to kick off a couple times.
Yeah, I believe this might be one of the few nights where you see that this special teams unit has been on the field just as much as the offensive unit or the defensive unit.
A new kicker in, Devin Dilhay, doing it all tonight. And a good old-fashioned toe ball as it hits a West Creek player.
And it's the fumble catch.
Loring Beecham. And he gets dropped. And the ball is out, and Northeast has got it. Northeast has got the fumble. Number 11 picked that one up, Malik Rumble. Things just not going West Creek's way tonight.
You're right, and just on that kick, you know, they actually kicked it deep for a time instead of going for the onside kick. It's just, but see right there, he fumbles the catch, and after that, it gives the Northeast team time to get there. And really, I believe that's just a great play on the ball.
That was a great hit from the kickoff coverage of Northeast High School, and the offense trots back out on the field, getting their money's worth tonight.
I mean, we've seen them in practice this week. This is really what they practice for. You know, they were going hard in practice. They also, practice what they preach in a sense.
They throw it deep again, nearly caught. Mario Vereen was the player intended by there. Heath Williams, I mean, his arm has got to be shot tonight. He's been throwing it deep all night.
And the crazy thing about it, Peay, it looks like it's not even bothering him, because as much as he's throwing it deep and been letting it go, you know, he's still making these same passes that he's been making since, you know, quarter one.
6:45 remaining in this third quarter. Heath Williams getting the play from his assistant head coach over on the sideline. If you're just now joining us, Chad Watson, the head coach for Northeast, is not here tonight. His wife just gave birth to a child last week and has not been at school or at practice all week. So what a luxury it is to have some assistant coaches who can really take charge of this team and not skip a beat.
Yep, and that's really a good thing for a team to have. Like we said earlier, when you got a coaching staff that's good, that when the head coach is not in, they can continue taking off where he left off. You know, that's great.
Heath Williams looking for some room. A flag is down. He makes another man miss. Dives forward to that, looks like the 13-yard line.
It could be another possible holding coming on this play, Pat.
The call does look like it is going to be holding, as Northeast is walking back in shame after that call. Just to confirm, it is holding on the offense. That's going to back them up 10 yards and make it 2nd and 20. One of the few times Northeast has been behind the chains tonight.
Yeah, Pat, and that's like I said earlier, Northeast has made mistakes this game. It's just after the mistakes, West Creek hasn't been able to capitalize. Right. And that's what's really been hurting this game.
Heath Williams coming into tonight's matchup with 716 yards passing. Fair to say he's added to that number tonight. A huge hit by number 1, Chris Parson. Coming across the middle was the receiver, Sean Robinson. He pops right back up, and it's going to be 3rd and 20.
Yeah. And another thing you see with this Northeast team, Pat, is they're not scared to throw the ball. Like, we've seen that a good majority of their plays have been passing plays, right. Honestly. They've ran a more pass-first offense, and they're going to stick with it. I mean, like I said, there's no fear coming from the quarterback. There's no fear from the receivers. They're willing to go up and get the ball.
Now, why change it? Score being the way it is. It's worked for you. Fred Orr getting dropped in the backfield, but the receiver still got it. Sean Robinson, and he's going to get he's still on his feet. He's got the first down and more. Sean Robinson still on his feet, and what looked like a loss of down, Fred Orr just tosses it to the wide receiver. What a play from the receiver.
And that was just a good double handoff. You're going to see right here that when Heath takes the snap, he's going to hand it to Fred Orr, and then he's going to hand it off to Sean Robinson, and they're just going to take off with it.
That's just great improvisation from Frederick Orr. And what looked like is going to be 4th down and a mile is now 1st and goal at the 3-yard line.
And this is what I've been talking about the whole game, Pat, is them not being able to capitalize after they force Northeast to make these mistakes. They force Northeast back, 3rd and however, and they, push them back very long. But Northeast is still pushing, able to make something out of nothing.
Another touchdown for Northeast. Devin Dilhay, his first touchdown of the night. That was just a good old-fashioned get it up the middle and see what you can get with it. And moves the score up to 57.
And that's it. That might be his first touchdown, but I believe that's four separate Northeast players who all have a touchdown in this game.
Zach Thomas on to kick the extra point for the 2nd time tonight. Whistles are blown by the referees. Like the referee was talking to one of the linemen up front. Not sure if he was talking a little too much smack or what. But Zach Thomas still on to kick the extra point. The kick is up, and it's good. That extra point moves the score to 58-6. A 52-point lead with 3.5 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Northeast continuing their dominant run, moving to 6-0 after tonight. Stay with us for the rest of the second half here on APSU-TV.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
We're back here live at West Creek High School. Not been going West Creek's high school way, not only this game, but this season, sitting at 1-4 and staring 1-5 right now. We mentioned earlier in the broadcast, it's been so long. Really got to win out if you're going to go 1-5 right now. Here's Walter Beatty with the ball, looking to make something happen. Still on his feet, and he finally gets tackled at the 23-24 yard line.
Yep, and that wasn't that bad of a return, Pat, but we see again, I believe this is 2 kickoff returns in a row where they fumbled the catch, honestly. By now, I believe maybe the mistakes have gone to the head, and it's forcing the play, a little bit loosely than they were at first.
So the offense of the Coyotes coming back out onto the field. Ball spotted at the 23-yard line. That's where they'll start 1st and 10. A 52-point deficit late in this third quarter. Wagner hands it off to Parson. He's got maybe a yard at best, but good job by that defensive line staying home and tackling Parson.
Yeah, Pat, and from what I can see, they still have a good majority of the starters on the defense end. Just like I mentioned at the front of the half, they might be looking to keep their starters in for a little bit longer just to make sure they can put this game away and not leave any doubts on the table.
This is valuable practice. I mean, games can also serve for some practice as well. If you're up like this, kind of keep the same habits you would otherwise. Wagner looking for something. He's got some space. He's being tackled. A strong tackle there by number 21 there, Isaiah Foy.
Yeah, and to Anthony Wagner, he saw the pressure coming and he was able to make a play out of it. You see here, once he gets the snap, he sees it coming right there. He sees that open space and takes off. So like you said, number 21, he was just able to make a really good play on there.
Only a yard on that play, so that's going to bring up 3rd down and 9 with 1.5 minutes remaining. Once again, it is going to be a running clock for the rest of this contest. Northeast throwing just incomplete. I had a man wide open. Walter Beatty was there. It just falls incomplete.
Yeah, they really just can't get that connection going right now. To Anthony Wagner really is trying to do all he can out there. He sees this pressure coming. He's scrambling out the pocket a little bit more, trying to buy a little bit more time, but the ball just can't get to the receiver.
So 4th down, and the punting unit will come out for West Creek.
And I believe it's number 3, Javion Browder, back for the return on this.
High snap, and the kick is away, nearly blocked by Dilhay. The Eagles are just going to let it bounce, and it's going to roll out to the 48-yard line. A pretty good punt from the Coyotes.
Yeah, it looked to be a low kick, but it got a nice roll on it. They added 10 to 15 more yards than it would have been originally.
Would love to know the starting field position for Northeast, because really feels like it's been everything you'd want if you're that offense. You're starting at worst the 30-yard, your own 30 each time, and what a luxury it has been for that defense to really give them great field position. So that is the end of this third quarter. 58-6 is your score. At this time, we'd like to thank TN High School Football. TNHighSchoolFootball.com is the source for all things high school football in Tennessee. From Donovan Stewart's victory formation column to podcast interviews with area coaches, TNHighSchoolFootball.com has you covered. Nominate and vote for weekly players of the week at TNHighSchoolFootball.com. I guess at this time we can kind of give you another rundown of the possible violations that Northeast is facing right now. Rather, we're going to send it to a commercial. 58-6 your score. Stay with us. We'll get the rest of this fourth quarter here on APSU-TV.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
We welcome you back after that short break. 58-6 is your score currently. And the starter still out here for Northeast.
I believe it's to no surprise that they're willing to keep their starters out here. As you can see, they still have the main people out here. They got Heath, they got Tyreek, and they still got Fred, all on the offensive side, still all back here.
Got a penalty that's backing them up. Like 5 yards, probably a false start. I didn't see the referee's call on that one. Still the starting QB in, Heath Williams. What a night he's had. Not only has it been through the air, Denzel, it's been on the ground just as much. And here he is looking for something. Caught. A great catch by Fred Orr. And that's enough for a first down.
Yep. That was a great catch. It was also a great hit by Walter Beatty. He broke on the ball, hit him as soon as the ball got there. Fred Orr was just able to keep hold of it.
Ball spotted at the 38-yard line. 1st and 10 at West Creek's 38. The two running backs, Yasir Thomas and Fred Orr, working one-on-one here on the corner. A fun little matchup to watch. Heath Williams going out to his right side. It's intercepted. A great interception from West Creek. And they're going to get the ball very near their own 5.
A great interception for them. It was Heath was trying to air it out to Mario Green, but they just made a good play on the defense.
And it does look like Chris Parson, the one who did intercept that pass, coming up a little slow on that interception. It looked like he came down pretty hard on his back there. Jumped up so high, but what a great defensive play from Chris Parson. Still showing fight even with the score the way it is.
And that's a good thing. That's something you want to see from your players as a coach. Even when there's a deficit this bad, you want to see which players are still going to go out there and fight, try to win, and which ones aren't. Because that really shows you who really cares, who really is out here, fighting for this team.
Before we went to break last time, I mentioned the predicament that Northeast is in currently. I'd like to thank once again James Troglin for putting it into simpler terms for guys like me to really explain the situation. But a tweet from Mr. James Troglin: if the TSAA denies Northeast hardship appeal, it will have to forfeit its 5 wins. The Eagles were off to a 5-0 start for the first time since the 1990s. I mean, yeah, a 5-0 start. They were ranked 4 in the poll this week in 5A in Middle Tennessee. So it's really just a rough situation, especially when you see how little this player was really affecting. Once again, we don't know who this player is, but looks like Chris Parson is on his feet. But just a weird situation, Denzel.
You're right. It is just a weird situation. And, hopefully it works out for them. Hopefully they don't lose all the wins, because they're showing that they are a good team. And so even that one person who was, they might be about to get in trouble for, they're showing that he wasn't, the biggest reason on why they were able to get their record the way it is.
Chris Parson jogging off the injured Coyote. A very positive sign to see. And that offense for the Coyotes is going to come back out because of Mr. Chris Parson, a great interception. They're going to start, it looks like, at their own 2 or 3, so not a lot of room to work here for Yasir Thomas. You'd have to think he's going to get the ball in his own end zone.
You're right, and I believe it's still T. Anthony Wagner out there at quarterback.
And a timeout is called from West Creek. You got 10:15 remaining in this fourth quarter. That is the first timeout of the half here. So with that timeout, we're going to send it to a break. 58-6 your score, 10:15 remaining in this game. It's been all Northeast all night. Stay with us as we're going to recap in the final fourth quarter here on APSU-TV.
Why is my son having trouble in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with my son over his homework.
Home, walk, restaurant. Need a review?
No. He's smart, but his mind wanders.
7 wonders of the world.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
West Creek with the ball. Yasir Thomas drives it up the middle for a couple yards to get it out of his own end zone, but other than that, not much. 10 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, they're really in a position right now where they need, they're really going to need to get out of their own end zone right now. That's not a spot that they're going to want to be at on offense, and that's really their best option for them to score is going to be able to get out of the end zone.
I mentioned earlier of some of the players that are going to get a chance to play at the next level here at college, and Heath Williams for Northeast is one of those players. You also got Fred Orr. He's got an offer from UT Martin and Howard. You also got Tyreek Freeman, the other running back with over 100 yards rushing each game. He's got a Morehead State offer. And finally, probably one of the more impressive list of commitments that I've seen is Devin Dilhay. He's got Navy, Tennessee Tech, Air Force, Ball State, all offered him a scholarship to play football. So we've got players on this team. They're going to be playing at the next level. And not only that, it's a very mature. We got some seniors. We got a lot of juniors on this team. They can make a run in this state playoffs. For
yeah,
sure.
You're right. They have all the tools that they need. And like you said, you got all these players who have all these offers. And like when you was naming all Devin Dilhay, that's some big offers right there with Ball State, Air Force, Navy.
Yeah.
One of the guys I went to school with went to Navy. And
Okay.
that's a big opportunity for him right there, especially with, their training facilities and all
Sure.
that. It's one of the best in college football.
That Army-Navy game, always a truly great spectacle to watch. See, Anthony Wagner fires it deep for Chris Parson, just couldn't get it. Parson looking for a holding from the ref, but he's not getting it.
Yep, and that was number 7, Josh Emmons on the coverage.
That's good coverage. I mean, he was all over him. He didn't have much room, Anthony Wagner did, to fit that ball inside, but this secondary, I don't know if we've mentioned them enough this game. they give that defense a lot of cushion to work with. I mean, they can go one-on-one with that receiver, and they're winning that matchup for most of the night.
Yeah, and that's something any defense would love to have. Like any defense would love to be able to rush as many guys as they want and have a secondary that they can trust.
And it is intercepted. That was number 3 for the Eagles, Javion Browder. Another turnover and another mistake from West Creek.
Yes, and just here, as you see, they send almost everything they got, and he just comes across the field and makes a great play on the ball that he sees is not on target.
Just threw a duck into the middle, and usually when you do that, there's a couple players that would love to take that one away from you, and they did. It does look like Heath Williams' night is done.
I also believe so. It looks like they have, I can't tell. I believe it's Devin Dilhay they have in that quarterback, so he's been all over the ball too.
Hand it off to Justin Osborne, his first carry of the night. Gets tackled at the 10-yard line.
And this is what I was talking about earlier, Pat. You know, they were going to keep the starters in for the most part, and as it got towards the end of the third, early fourth, you know, then they start to integrate some of those second-string guys and let them get their reps in.
You can definitely tell this team came with an edge tonight. They wanted to prove something. My goodness, have they proved it, 58-6. And this is something to put on the lines at Clarksville, just how bad you beat this team tonight. And a great tackle outside for West Creek, Alvion Thornton. Standing tall at 6'1", 190. Not too many people can run that fast at 190.
You're right, Pat. Thornton got a good tackle on Tyja McCaffrey off in the backfield for a loss of yards on that play.
So 3rd and 12 at the 13-yard line. Dilhay with the ball, diving into the end zone, touchdown. Dilhay, his second touchdown of the night. The linebacker is having a dream night tonight. Something that he probably didn't think was going to happen coming in.
And those are just his full skills on display right there, Pat. That's showing us why he has the offers he does. He's very athletic. A lot of schools are looking for athletes who can do more than one thing. You know, we've seen him on the defensive side. We've seen him on the offensive side. We've seen him on the special teams. We see him at quarterback right now. There's a lot of spots that he's at that, you know, colleges are looking at to see, oh, he can do this. You know, that's something that most people want on their team.
Zach Thomas on to kick the extra point. Zach Thomas has been a little busy tonight. A low snap, and Zach Thomas has got the ball, and he's just going to throw it, the poor kid.
Yeah, it was a miscatch on the field goal attempt. I mean, he tried to make something that he could try to do something after it.
64-6 is your score. 6.5 minutes remaining. We're going to send it to a break. Stay with us here on APSU-TV.
Why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Having trouble finding Connor's middle school? Would you like directions?
No, why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with him over homework.
Home, walk, restaurant. Need a review?
No, I need help. He's very smart, but his mind wanders. He's disorganized.
I think I understand.
Oh, good.
French fries. Finding best potatoes.
No!
Russet. Fingerling. Yukon Gold.
Why don't you understand me?
Sorry, I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
For the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues, this is what life can feel like. Explore understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues, designed to help your child thrive in school and in life. Understood.org, because understanding is everything.
Zach Thomas getting ready to kick away here for Northeast. 64-6 is your score tonight. Northeast took control from the very start, and they really haven't looked back.
And they did exactly what you want your team, what you want your players to do. They took the lead early on. They almost, you know, forced their will early on. They kept the game going. They never lit off on the gas pedal for a second. I mean, they really, you know, it was a race to them, and they kept pushing forward.
On the kick here for Northeast, Francisco Rosada. First time kicking away for him. A bit of a squib kick here as West Creek receives the ball. Still on his feet is the returner, and he gets it out to the 44-yard line.
And that was a good amount of yards he was able to get on there, honestly. You know, there's still some of them out there trying to make something happen. And even though the kick was short, you know, you see he got 5-10 yards on the kick. You know, he's trying to give them good position when they get on the field.
So 1st and 10 is where they'll start at the 46-yard line. A little score update in the first quarter. About an hour ago, Mount Juliet was up 7-0 against Clarksville Northwest. We will be at Mount Juliet next week. Myself and Jeff Matthews, who's in the truck tonight, will be out at Rossview, where Jeff and I will be out to a Mount Juliet practice. We're really excited about that. Never done a Mount Juliet game before, but what a powerhouse they are in Middle Tennessee.
And Jeff was an alum of Mount Juliet, wasn't he?
He sure is, and well, I have to keep a short leash on him. I mean, he's already talked about possibly painting up for that game. I told him he absolutely cannot do that. So, but yeah, that'll be next week. Rossview versus Mount Juliet. Here at this game, 44 or at the 44-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Coyotes. Handed off to Yasir Thomas. He's tackled by a host of Eagles across to the 46-yard line. 4:40 remaining in this game. 64-6 is your score. And here, if you're Northeast, you just want to come out with as much of a shutout as you can. That conceded the 6 points, but it's been a great night defensively.
Yep, and it looks like they finally started to get some of their starters on the defensive rest. There's a lot of fresh faces that are in the game that haven't had a chance to play yet, and this is really good for them because this experience of getting these reps are good for what they're going to need.
A great run from Yasir Thomas out to the 42-yard line, and that's enough for a 1st down for West Creek.
Yep, he just was able to, off that handoff, the little pitch back, he was able to get some good yardage off of that.
Got to give to Anthony Wagner a lot of props. He took a big hit, but he stood in there and waited to the very last second to get it.
Yeah. And to Anthony Wagner has been in there most of the game like this, honestly. He's been willing to take some of these hits to make sure he gets the ball off. And so,
an absolute disaster from the start on that play for Yasir Thomas.
He's been willing to take.
Going to bring up 2nd down and long. Not really sure what happened on that one, but 3:24 remaining.
Yeah, he was just met by a host, a group of Eagles in the backfield.
Bring up 2nd down and 15 after that loss of 5. West Creek still giving a go here late in this game. Wagner tosses it out to Yasir Thomas, and he is wrapped up by a great open field tackle by number 32 there. That was Kendrick Foster. That's a tough assignment to just tackle Yasir Thomas out in the open field.
And speaking of Kendrick Foster, I believe the last play beforehand, he was also one of the first few Eagles to get in there on that tackle. But the West Creek's definitely still out there putting up a little bit of fight. They're still keeping in to Anthony Wagner and Yasir Thomas. You know, they're still keeping them in, hoping that they can get something going.
A tough toss out to Yasir Thomas, but he's still trying to make the most of it, still on his feet. He gets back out to the line of scrimmage, and that's going to be about it for him, as that'll bring up 4th down.
Yep, and it's 4th and long coming up now. But looking at how it is this late in the game, I mean, there's a chance they might go for it.
Yeah, might as well go for it.
I see they're keeping Anthony Wagner in, so it looks like that's what they're planning on doing.
Surely a passing down here, something they haven't done a lot this season. As I mentioned, Chris Parson had 1 completion coming into tonight's game, and although he hasn't played quarterback all the time, but that is a great sack by number 45. That's Gabriel Rodriguez. His first tackle of the night, and what a tackle to make it a turnover on downs, and that gives your offense the ball at West Creek's own 40-yard line with 1:25 remaining.
Yeah, what a tackle it was indeed. Hey, that's a good feeling when you get in the game and your first tackle is a sack for a huge loss. It's also a turnover.
So that high-powered offense will come back out onto the field, and this game is really going to help the team stats. 64 points for Northeast, and that's been with a running clock and no starters for majority of the fourth quarter. So a great performance tonight, blocked out all the noise coming in, and still want to show this Clarksville and pretty much Tennessee that they're here to play. Dilhay throws the ball deep. He's got a man. Are they going to give it to him? No, incomplete. A little outside, but still not a bad throw for a linebacker.
Yep, and you see that they're still just going for it. Like even with the second strings in, they're still not trying to take their foot off the pedal. And a pass like that, it's showing you that, they're hungry. They want to go for this.
They're probably going to get one play left, 20 seconds left to go in this game. Dilhay takes a snap. He's looking for it all. The throw is it's incomplete. Sorry. Nearly intercepted by 2 or 3 Coyotes.
And that's going to be the last play.
And that's going to do it. What a game, Denzel. 64-6 is your score. And that's your final score. And you really have to think, Denzel, this is a great way to come out, respond to the critics, I don't know if you'd say, but the stories that really are questioning your season. And boy, did they show up.
Yeah, they came in with the card. They might have been good up with their, being 5-0. Like you said, they had different storylines going on. They had the head coach that's been out. They got there's a possibility that they can lose some of their games. But, they came in with their heads on right. They stayed focused. They got the job done tonight. They did what they're supposed to do.
Leading the charge, it's got to be Heath Williams, the quarterback. Did it on his feet, did it on his legs, and really did it on his leadership as well. Kind of easily, he's got to be the leader of that team, the senior quarterback. And also the next broadcast, as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, we're going to be at Rossview versus Mount Juliet next Friday night. And it's just going to be a great game. Mount Juliet, a true powerhouse in Tennessee. But once again, 64-6 is your score. And as I was mentioning, Heath Williams, a leader of this team, and didn't let his team become complacent at all in this entire game.
Yeah, and there's a lot of guys who you could tell take up that same characteristic. Devon DeLay, he kept going. Fred Orr kept going. Tyreek Freeman kept going. Even on, the defense side, Jimmy Wendell kept going. They got multiple guys that keep up that same, they keep up that same energy to keep their team going and keep them boosted, keep them, keep the spirits up.
With this win, this is going to push Northeast to 6-0 in the state. And once again, this is all barring this investigation that should happen sometime early this week. But 6-0 in the state is just a great accomplishment, and you've got to love the effort from Northeast. Now for West Creek, you're going to put at 1-5, and you're really going to have to start. You're really going to have to start winning all these games. It really doesn't matter if you lose a game. You just got to give it your all and see what you can do with it.
Yeah, and really when you're in a situation like this, 1-5, when you look at the rest of the season, although it might not look like there's anything left, especially if you think you're going to miss the playoffs, but, you can still play for your pride. You can still be out there and still win games. I mean, you can still shock people even when you're down this low.
Once again, 64-6 is your score. Northeast took it home tonight. We'd like to thank everyone for watching, and we'll see you next week at Rossview versus Mount Juliet High School. Thank you, and good night here on APSU-TV.